एनसीपी तोड़ी, अब तृणमूल की बारी। तो हम ये भुगत चुके हैं।
जो भी निर्णय लिया जाता है हमारे पक्ष के प्रमुख या टीएमसी के पक्ष प्रमुख वहाँ पे लेंगे। जब होगा तब देखा जाएगा। शायद हो भी नहीं सकता, शायद हो भी सकता है। आज क्या इम्पोर्टेंट है, सब पक्ष के जो नेता है जो आज बीजेपी के विरोध में, तो रास्ते पे आना पड़ेगा और ये भाजपा के खिलाफ वहाँ पे लड़ना पड़ेगा।
एनसीपी का ऑलरेडी पहले ही प्रस्ताव था विलीन करना का, तो ऑलरेडी अभी सबको ये लगता है कि जिस तरह से केंद्र में बीजेपी की नरेंद्र मोदी की सरकार ने संवैधानिक संस्था को खत्म करने का काम, संविधान को खत्म करने का काम और देश को बेचने का काम जो शुरू किया है, तो देश बचना चाहिए और कांग्रेस के साथ बच सकता है। ये भूमिका अब सब राज्यों की जो पार्टियां उनके समझ में आ गया है और इसलिए ममता बनर्जी हो, शरद पवार जी हो, कई जो सेकुलर वोट की राजनीति करने वाले जो पक्ष है, वो सबको लगता है कि अब देश बचाने के लिए कांग्रेस के साथ आना चाहिए और वो प्रक्रिया शुरू हो गई है।
जिस तरीके से तृणमूल कांग्रेस की अगर बात करें तो उनके सांसद बीजेपी को समर्थन दे रहे हैं, क्या लगता है कहीं ना कहीं दबाव की राजनीति चालू?
आपने देखा होगा, अपन महाराष्ट्र में है, महाराष्ट्र में शरद पवार के घर को तोड़ा गया, जो नरेंद्र मोदी की सरकार ने, बीजेपी ने तोड़ा, ये तो सबको पता है। उद्धव ठाकरे की पार्टी तोड़ा। तो जिस तरह से राजनीति बीजेपी ने करना शुरू करी है, क्योंकि वो लोकतांत्रिक व्यवस्था को मानना नहीं चाहते, वो हिटलरशाही, हुक्मशाही।
कांग्रेस से जो अलग हो गए, उन्होंने कांग्रेस में जाना चाहिए कि नहीं जाना चाहिए, ये डिसाइड करने वाला संजय राउत कोई होता नहीं। वो कोई कांग्रेस का प्रवक्ता है क्या? शरद पवार के साथ कभी कांग्रेस के साथ, अरे कभी तो वो उबाटा के साथ भी रहो। वो पार्टी का क्या कर रहे हैं? वो पार्टी भी अगर कांग्रेस में विलीन करने की है तो उसके लिए तो रास्ते उनको खुले हैं। मुझे लगता है कोई जो पार्टी, इतनी बड़ी पार्टी का प्रवक्ता बनने की संजय राउत ने अभी कोशिश नहीं करना। कांग्रेस में बहुत सारे दिग्गज नेता अभी बाकी है।
क्या कोई बातचीत चल रही है अभी?
मुझे इसके बारे में कोई जानकारी नहीं। ये अखिल भारतीय कांग्रेस कमेटी के पर नहीं इस पर टिप्पणी करना उचित रहेगा।
अगर महाराष्ट्र में इस तरीके से सोचा जाए एनसीपी और अदर पार्टीज को लेकर, तो आपकी राय क्या है?
मैं मेरी राय मेरे पार्टी के भीतर रखूंगा, इसके पहले भी रखी है।
क्योंकि उनके नेताओं ने इनकार पूरी तरह से नहीं किया है। वो कह रहे कि हो भी सकता है, नहीं भी हो सकता है। इसके पहले भी संजय राउत कह रहे कि जब विचारधारा दोनों की एक है तो एक उन्हें होकर बीजेपी का मुकाबला करने में क्या बुराई है?
सब्र रखिए, आगे आगे देखिए क्या होता है।
सुप्रिया सुले भी कह रही है कि संजय राउत जो सलाह दे रहे हैं और शरद पवार जी के नेतृत्व में अगर ये चीज आगे बढ़ानी है तो इसके बारे में सोचा जा सकता है। वो मेरे बड़े भाई की तरह, उनकी सलाह में बहुत गंभीरता से लेते हैं, तो वो डिनाई भी नहीं कर रही।
तो उन्होंने बड़ी भाई के नाते उनसे उनकी सलाह जो है वो उन्हें स्वीकारी है, तो और एक दूसरे भी कोई भाई है ऐसे भी मेरे सुनने में आया था। अब वो उनकी राय है, उस पर मैं क्या टिप्पणी करूं?
जो महाराष्ट्र की पार्टी है, आप महाराष्ट्र कांग्रेस के अध्यक्ष हैं, आप लोगों को कोई ऐतराज होगा उनके मर्जी?
मैं मेरे पार्टी के भीतर मेरी जो राय है वो मैंने रखी हुई है और दोबारा मांगेगी तो मैं जरूर रखूंगा।
Meanwhile, viewers, Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has also reacted to the news of this Congress merger model being pitched. In fact, he called Congress a sinking ship, questioning why would somebody board a sinking ship. Listen in.
कि ये जो विलीनीकरण की बात चल रही है, एक पार्टी दूसरी पार्टी में जाएगी, तो जैसा मैंने कहा कि बेगानी शादी में अब्दुल्ला दीवाना है, न ये पार्टी कह रही है न वो पार्टी कह रही है, तीसरा ही कह रहा है और उसके ऊपर चर्चाएं चल रही है। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ये सारी पार्टियां, इसके नेता ये सीजन्ड है, ये होशियार है। कांग्रेस डूबती नाव है, डूबती नाव में कोई पैर नहीं रखता, इनमें से कोई डूबती नाव में पैर नहीं रखेगा।
Rebel TMC MPs, meanwhile, are set to meet the Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla on Monday to stake claim to be recognized as the real TMC. Rebel MP Jagdish Chandra Barma Basunia has said that there are 19 Lok Sabha members that are currently backing this faction. So that's the signature. You can see those names that have come in. The real TMC. This paper is the proof of the real TMC. These are the 19 names that you're seeing on your screens, from Kakolit Ghosh Dastidar, who's leading this faction, to Shatabdi Roy, to Prasun also Banerjee, and you have Bappi Haldar also. You have many other names that are part of this list, which has now in fact triggered this alliance formation talks. Congress offers Mamata Banerjee to join with her handful of the support she has. We have in fact Jagdish Chandra, the rebel TMC MP, might listen in.
अगला रूप है, हम स्पीकर का पास हमारा जो कोर्ट है, कोर्ट जहाँ बनाया है उसको मान्यता देने के लिए स्पीकर के पास हम जाएंगे सोमवार, अगला सोमवार।
आप लोगों ने साइन किया, ये साइन होने की प्रक्रिया कब शुरुआत हुई और किसने इसकी नेतृत्व किसने किया?
नेतृत्व सबको मिलकर किया, वो अलग कोई नेतृत्व नहीं है, सबको फ़ोन सबको किया है, हम भी किया है, ककली भी किया है, और सब मिलकर हम ये सोच लिया है जो हमको अलग गुट बनाना है और टीएमसी के सही गुट के लिए हम दावा करेंगे।
टीएमसी के यानी असली गुट के लिए? असली
गुट के लिए।
अच्छा, तो इस हस्ताक्षर की अगर मैं कहूँ तो वो कौन सी तारीख थी? अगर कोई नाम बता सकें कि हम अब ममता बनर्जी के साथ नहीं रहेंगे, तो कौन बात शुरू, कब से शुरुआत हुई?
ये इलेक्शन के बाद से शुरू हुआ, तो 1 महीना तो हो गया।
अच्छा, तो ये इलेक्शन में परिणाम की वजह से हुआ या पहले से मन बना रखे थे कि चुनाव जो?
तो चुनाव के पहले 1 साल पहले, 2 साल पहले, आज जो गुस्सा आया है मन में, ये गुस्सा तो एक दिन में नहीं है, ये गुस्सा धीरे धीरे बड़ा हुआ है और आज के जो परिणाम हुआ है, ये गुस्सा का परिणाम होता है।
अच्छा, तो अगर पहले दिन अगर कहें तो कितने लोगों ने हस्ताक्षर किए?
पहले दिन 14 लोग हस्ताक्षर किए और उसके बाद बाकी जो 5 लोग हैं वो हस्ताक्षर।
अच्छा, सियानी घोष हो गई या यूसुफ पठान, इन लोगों ने कब साइन किया?
सियानी घोष साइन किया 2 दिन बाद।
अच्छा,
यूसुफ उस दिन घर में नहीं था, वो बाहर में था, फ़ोन में बात किया है, वो पर दिन वो दिल्ली आएगा सही किए।
Meanwhile, RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat's train journey from Kanpur to Delhi was briefly disrupted after stones were thrown at the Shatabdi Express. Incident shattered a window pane of the coach in which RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat was travelling, triggering a security response, although no injuries were reported. His report.
A security scare for RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat after stones were thrown at the Shatabdi Express during his journey from Kanpur to New Delhi. The impact shattered the outer window pane of the train's E1 coach, causing a brief moment of panic among the passengers on board. Mohan Bhagwat was travelling on the 12003 Lucknow Shatabdi Express after attending a function in Kanpur. Railway officials said Bhagwat was seated at seats 39 and 40, while the stone struck near the seat number 50 in the same coach. The stone hit only the outer glass pane and no passenger, including Bhagwat sustaining no injuries. Following the incident, the Railway Protection Force and local police launched an investigation. Authorities say an unidentified person is suspected of throwing stones at the train and efforts are underway to identify the accused. The Firozabad GRP confirmed that the matter is being investigated seriously. The train later escorted safely to Delhi.
Now, a new political formula has been discussed in Maharashtra that could reshape the Congress's future. After years of electoral setbacks for the Congress party, calls are now going for regional parties that emerge from the Congress to return to their parent organization. Sanjay Raut has proposed that Ashok Gehlot is backing it. NCP, SCP leaders keeping their options open. BJP, meanwhile, waiting and watching on the sidelines. Viewers, here's more.
What started as a suggestion is now becoming a serious political consideration for the opposition. And at the heart of it lies a reality that the Congress is no longer the dominant political force it once was. Despite remaining the BJP's biggest national rival, the party has struggled to convert anti-incumbency sentiment into sustained electoral gains. It is against this backdrop that Shiv Sena UBT MP Sanjay Raut floated the proposal that regional parties that originated from the Congress should reunite under one banner to strengthen the opposition.
ममता बनर्जी कल तक कांग्रेस का नाम लेने से बहुत कतराती थी, गुस्सा आता था। लेकिन जब संकट में आ गए, जब उनके ऊपर हमले शुरू हो गए, उनको हराया गया, तब सबसे पहले उनको कांग्रेस की याद आई। तो मैंने कहा कि आप ये समय है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी से जो जो फैक्शन बाहर निकले थे, नेता बाहर निकले थे और उसने अपने अपने दल खड़े किए, चाहे महाराष्ट्र हो, चाहे पश्चिम बंगाल हो, चाहे उड़ीसा हो, चाहे तेलंगाना हो, चाहे आंध्र हो, सभी ने कांग्रेस में आकर कांग्रेस के झंडे के नीचे अपनी नई शुरुआत करनी चाहिए और कांग्रेस को मजबूत करना चाहिए।
The proposal then found resonance with NCP SP MP Supriya Sule, who described it as a good suggestion.
तो संजय राउत जी हमारे लिए, मेरे लिए व्यक्तिगत मेरे बड़े भाई है, तो उन्होंने एक अच्छा सुझाव दिया है, लेकिन वो सर आँखों पे, क्या होगा कैसे होगा ये वक्त ही बताएगा। और जो तृणमूल कांग्रेस में होता है वो हम सह चुके हैं। पहले शिवसेना तोड़ी, उसके बाद एनसीपी तोड़ी, अब तृणमूल की बारी, तो हम ये भुगत चुके हैं।
The idea was then backed by the former Chief Minister of Rajasthan and senior Congress leader Ashok Gehlot, who openly backed the proposal and argued that the party should rally behind Rahul Gandhi's leadership.
मेरा तो मानना है कि ये पार्टियों का, संजय राउत का दम है, वक्त आ गया, अभी लड़ाई लड़नी है डेमोक्रेसी को बचाने की। डेमोक्रेसी को बचाने की जब लड़ाई युद्ध के मैदान में हम लोग हैं, तो संजय राउत का मैं सपोर्ट करता हूं कि ये सब पार्टियों की जो रीजनल पार्टी बन गई कांग्रेस अलग होके, उन सबको वापस शामिल होना चाहिए।
Taken together, the statement suggests that the opposition is discussing consolidation and coordination as their next big move. However, critics see it as evidence that the Congress is searching for new ways to rebuild its political influence after a difficult electoral decade. Maharashtra Minister Sanjay Shirsat questioned Sanjay Raut's authority to speak on behalf of either Congress or the NCP-SP. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis dismissed the proposal altogether, calling Congress a sinking ship and arguing that any merger would help the BJP.
कि ये जो विलीनीकरण की बात चल रही है, एक पार्टी दूसरी पार्टी में जाएगी, तो जैसा मैंने कहा कि बेगानी शादी में अब्दुल्ला दीवाना है, न ये पार्टी कह रही है, न वो पार्टी कह रही है, तीसरा ही कह रहा है, और उसके ऊपर चर्चाएं चल रही है। कांग्रेस डूबती नाव है, डूबती नाव में कोई पैर नहीं रखता, इनमें से कोई डूबती नाव में पैर नहीं रखेगा।
Whether this is the beginning of a broader opposition strategy or merely a last-ditch effort to stay relevant, it yet remains to be seen.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has once again shown the mirror to the West and called out the hypocrisy, called out the double standards. In fact, he has cleared India's stance on its decision to buy Russian oil, saying that national interest and energy security remain the guiding principles. And why did India buy Russian oil in 2022? That was also on America's request. In fact, he went on to say that market conditions and availability pushed India towards Russian crude oil at a time when Europe was purchasing large volumes of oil from West Asia. Here's a report.
I buy oil based on cost and availability. So at that point of time, much of the oil available on the market was Russian because Europeans were essentially buying up the Middle East oil, which was our traditional supply. So circumstances pushed us in a certain direction. But since you spoke about moral ambiguity, I would say this, no European country has been attacked with Indian weapons. I wish I could say that for European weapons vis-a-vis India. So keep that in mind. Europeans sell weapons which are used to attack India. Not now, for many, many years. We Indians have never done anything to endanger Europe. So I think that's a reasonable point.
Well, that's a wrap in this edition, but we continue to get you more updates coming in as far as the wash-up in the Tushar Sharma investigation is concerned. Viewers, Public TV exposed how there were multiple lapses in the probe, and now police has admitted to it. But it just lets off the sub-inspector with a 5,000 rupee fine.
MDH का जलजीरा जीरा सिप।
जीरा सिप, असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ।
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
I want to start with some very disturbing pictures that have come in of a so-called right-wing leader. His name is Sushil Prajapati. He's accused of rape. After being in jail for 9 months, he gets bail, which means he's still an accused. He's an accused in a rape case. And the case goes back to 2025 when he took an LLB student to one place on the pretext of introducing her to a senior advocate. He drugged her drink and then he sexually assaulted her. He is still under trial for rape. He has not been released. But when he comes out, this rape accused, garlands are put on him as if he's some kind of a hero, as if he's achieved something great. Is a rapist to be celebrated, ladies and gentlemen? I ask you that question. And more than anyone else, I ask the right wing of this country. Very often I come on television and I say, yes, on several issues, I'm happy to be called a right-winger. But ladies and gentlemen, let me put it clearly. You cannot let a person like this man, this Sushil Prajapati, a leader of the Hindu Yuva Vahini, a local thug, a man accused of rape, you cannot celebrate his act of rape or celebrate the fact that the rapist is out on bail. If that is the message we want to send to our society, and if all the BJP leaders want to be quiet about it, I want to ask them, why are they quiet about this? Why are they quiet? In the silence of the BJP leaders, is there a tacit support to this person? Is there a feeling that anyone who wears or puts a, proclaims that he is from a so-called Hindu organization, that he will be allowed to get away with absolutely everything, including an act of rape? Is there a feeling that this man, do right-wingers feel, this man, this accused rapist is one of our own? So hence, regardless of what happens, one of our own should never be accused. It's like all those people, those radical Islamists who say that as long as the act of murder or crime of terrorism is carried out by a Muslim, it must be defended. This very thought, ladies and gentlemen, is completely unacceptable. And we need to make the point more strongly because it's not the first time this has happened. This happened in the case of Bilkis Bano. When in Gujarat, the rapists of Bilkis Bano came out, they were greeted with tikas and sweets. And it was happening openly. This was an act of defiance. A manner of saying, so what? It is a Hindu who carried out the act of rape and hence we will celebrate him. We will forgive the person. Ladies and gentlemen, we are nobody to forgive. And the last thing we should do is celebrate rapists. This was a shameful moment then. This is a shameful moment now. Sengar was another shameful moment when some people said, oh, Sengar is from, the BJP and hence he can be seen smiling after carrying out the act of rape. And people would celebrate him and say, no, our leader can do no wrong. That was another shameful moment for the right wing. And ladies and gentlemen, Jayant
वाह मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा, राजा मसाला।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues, like in the case of Twisha Sharma, who does the public look to for justice, for raising their voice, for bringing something that's utterly false, illegal or wrong to public attention? It is only and only the media. And today, therefore, we are doing a media trial in this specific case, ladies and gentlemen, of Twisha Sharma, the 33-year-old daughter-in-law of an ex-judge, in a case where the ex-judge and the ex-judge's advocate son appear to be more than involved. Ladies and gentlemen, 15 questions tonight. And if they think it's a media trial, so be it. So be it. Why did the ex-judge in the case of Twisha Sharma, neither she nor her son call a police or an ambulance? What took them 57 minutes to bring the body down? Where are the 3 men who are seen in the video dragging Twisha's body, destroying evidence? What was the police doing? Did they question the house staff? Did they question the judge? Was Twisha carrying headphones in her bag, in her hand, or a rope? Where is it now? Where is that so-called belt that cops claim was used by her to commit suicide? Why was it hidden? The mother-in-law, the ex-judge, walks up calmly while the body is being dragged down and evidence is being destroyed before the judge's eyes. Is that normal? Why don't the judges raise a hue and cry about it? Why don't the appellate courts take up this case suo motu? So people don't start believing that when an ex-judge is concerned, the victim will never get justice. Ladies and gentlemen, what was the ex-judge carrying in her hand when she went down? Where is all the CCTV footage? Did the police collect it? Why did the ex-judge's son Samarth Singh escape after bringing the body of his wife to AIMS? Is it true that the ex-judge's son's medical examination was not conducted? The police station is right behind the ex-judge's Giribala's house. Why was no call made? Why did it take 5 days to file an FIR in the case? Who stalled it? Why was the victim's family attacked in court if there's nothing to hide? And did a very senior police officer, Uddhav Sena, is going to split? And just like Bhaipo, very corrupt political mafia don Abhishek Banerjee, there is another fellow out there, Aditya Thackeray, Uddhav's son, who is so unpopular, so arrogant, so corrupt that everyone wants to get out of the Uddhav Sena. This is my firm view that the Narendra Modi government is looking at a supermajority. That kind of political strength will allow him to carry out the kind of fundamental structural reforms that are necessary to push the country in a faster direction towards Viksit Bharat. We're going to see the NDA reaching a supermajority in this year, 2026, one of the biggest years in Indian politics.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
डेमोक्रेसी को बचाने के लिए अब लड़ाई युद्ध के मैदान में हम लोग हैं, तो संजय राउत का काम मैं सपोर्ट करता हूँ कि ये सब पार्टियों की जो रीजनल पार्टी बन गई कांग्रेस अलग होके उन सबको वापस शामिल होना चाहिए।
Congress's Ashok Gehlot urges regional parties to take Rahul Gandhi as opposition leader despite multiple massive electoral defeats.
तो संजय राउत जी हमारे लिए, मेरे लिए व्यक्तिगत मेरे बड़े भाई है, तो उन्होंने एक अच्छा सुझाव दिया है, लेकिन वो सर आंखों पे। क्या होगा कैसे होगा ये वक्त ही बताएगा।
After TMC offers speculation abuzz NCP SCP merging with Congress after leaders bat for opposition unity. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis responds to the proposed Congress merger model, says Congress is a sinking ship. 1 year since Air India 171 crash in Ahmedabad, pilot body questions delay in releasing final investigation report. Abhishek Banerjee summoned by the CID for questioning again on June 14th after being grilled for 5 hours over the signature forgery case. Trump says he has cancelled his strikes against Iran after threatening a very hard attack as he claims he's nearing a deal. All right, let's begin this 6 p.m. Friday evening with a breaking news development coming in connection with the Trinamool rebellion. 19 of those rebel MPs have been given a date for Monday, 15th of June, for a meeting with Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla. Rebel MPs are coming to Delhi tomorrow. A meeting of all of them with Chief Minister Shubhendu Adhikari will also be held on Sunday in Delhi. Interesting developments taking place on Trinamool rebellion front with 19 of the MPs led by Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar, who was the chief whip of the party till the rebellion panned out, and claims to continue in that position. They are going to meet Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, and there is a separate meeting planned with Shubhendu Adhikari, the Chief Minister of Bengal, who is going to be in Delhi on Sunday. So packed political Sunday and Monday in terms of Bengal politics panning out in New Delhi. All right, more on the rebel Trinamool MPs. They will meet Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla and perhaps stake claim to be recognized as the real TMC, because that was the letter given by Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar to the Lok Sabha Speaker. Rebel MP Jagdish Chandra Barma Basunia has said, claiming that 19 Lok Sabha members are currently backing the faction. So in a way, we have a soundbite on record statement that they are going to claim to be recognized as the real TMC. Listen to him.
स्पीकर का पास हमारा जो कोर्ट है, कोर्ट जाम बनाया है, उसको मान्यता देने के लिए स्पीकर के पास हम जाएंगे सोमवार, अगला सोमवार।
आप लोगों ने साइन किया, ये साइन होने की प्रक्रिया कब शुरुआत हुई और किसने इसकी नेतृत्व किसने किया?
नेतृत्व सबको मिलकर किया, वो अलग कोई नेतृत्व नहीं है, सबको फोन सबको किया है, हम भी किया है, ककली भी किया है, और सब मिलकर हम ये सोच लिया है जो हमको अलग गुट बनाना है और टीएमसी के सही गुट के लिए हम दावा करेंगे।
टीएमसी के यानी असली गुट के लिए? असली गुट के लिए। अच्छा, तो इस हस्ताक्षर की अगर मैं कहूँ तो वो कौन सी तारीख थी? अगर कोई नाम बता सकें कि हम अब ममता बनर्जी के साथ नहीं रहेंगे, तो कौन बात शुरू, कब से शुरुआत?
ये इलेक्शन के बाद से शुरू हुआ, तो 1 महीना तो हो गया।
अच्छा, तो ये इलेक्शन में परिणाम की वजह से हुआ या पहले से मन बना रखे थे कि चुनाव जो?
तो चुनाव के पहले 1 साल पहले, 2 साल पहले, आज जो गुस्सा आया है मन में, ये गुस्सा तो एक दिन में नहीं है, ये गुस्सा धीरे धीरे बड़ा हुआ है और आज के जो परिणाम हुआ है, ये गुस्सा का परिणाम होता है।
अच्छा, तो अगर पहले दिन अगर कहें तो कितने लोगों ने हस्ताक्षर किए?
पहले दिन 14 लोग हस्ताक्षर किया और उसका बाद बाकी जो 5 लोग हैं वो इस तरह।
अच्छा, सियानी घोष हो गई या यूसुफ पठान, इन लोगों ने कब साइन किया?
सयानी घोष साइन किया 2 दिन बाद। यूसुफ उस दिन घर में नहीं था, वो बाहर में था, फ़ोन में बात किया है, वो पर दिन वो दिल्ली आएगा सही किए।
All right, what seems to be happening to one faction of Trinamool in Bengal seems also to be happening to the NCP, SCP or the Nationalist Congress Party, Sharad Pawar faction in Bengal vis-a-vis its merger with, in Maharashtra vis-a-vis their merger with the Congress. Anil Deshmukh has spoken on these speculations. Let's listen to him.
पहली बात तो आपने संजय राउत साहब का नाम लिया। ठीक है, संजय राउत साहब हमारे अच्छे मित्र हैं और शायद उन्होंने सजेस्ट किया होगा ऐसा कुछ। और रही बात बाकी ऐसे प्रपोजल की, पहली बात तो जो 2 दिन से इस प्रकार की चर्चा चालू है कि ऐसा कुछ प्रस्ताव आया है कांग्रेस की तरफ से हमारी तरफ, मुझे राष्ट्रवादी शरद पवार साहब के पार्टी की तरफ, कि दोनों का मर्जर होना चाहिए, ऐसा कुछ प्रपोजल आया है। इसके बारे में 2 दिन से या 3 दिन से इसकी चर्चा चालू है। पहली बात तो मैं बोलना चाहूँगा कि इसके बारे में जो बाकी हमारे विरोधी पार्टी है भारतीय जनता पार्टी, इसके बारे में भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोग ही ज़्यादा बोल रहे हैं। ना हमारे तरफ से कोई ज़्यादा बोल रहा है, ना कांग्रेस की तरफ से कोई बोल रहा है। पहले उनका चालू किया नहीं इकट्ठा नहीं आना चाहिए, कहाँ डूबती नाव में पैर रखते, इस प्रकार की। अरे भाई, ऐसी भी कुछ समझो चर्चा होंगी, चर्चा नहीं है, होंगी तो हमारी पार्टी दोनों देख लेंगे ना। भारतीय जनता पार्टी को इतनी चिंता करने की इसमें क्या बात है? यह नंबर 2 पहला इशू। दूसरा इशू, आपने जो प्रस्ताव की बात की है, ऐसा कोई भी प्रपोजल कांग्रेस की तरफ से हमारे पार्टी को आया नहीं। मैं इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ कि अभी हमारी 10 जून को वर्धापन दिन हो गया, उसमें इस प्रकार की कोई चर्चा नहीं। वर्धापन दिन होने के बाद में 11 जून को माननीय शरद पवार साहब का जो सिल्वर ओक को जहाँ पे रेसिडेंस है उनका, वहाँ पे हमारे सब सीनियर नेताओं की 5-6 जो सीनियर नेता हैं उनकी हमारी पवार साहब से करीबन 2 घंटे काफ़ी अलग अलग इश्यूज़ के ऊपर चर्चा हुई वहाँ पे। उसमें भी इसका कोई जिक्र नहीं आया करके ताज्जुब लगता है कि ये बात कहाँ से उठी, ये चिंगारी कहाँ से उठी और चिंगारी किसने उठाया, क्योंकि ऐसी कोई चर्चा हमारे पार्टी में नहीं है। ऐसा कुछ रहता तो पार्टी में चर्चा होती इसके बारे में सीनियर नेताओं के साथ में, पवार साहब ये सब चीज़ें बताते, पर ऐसी कोई भी चर्चा नहीं है। सब ये किसने तो भी ये बात उठाई हुई है।
सर, ये बोला जा रहा है क्योंकि एक स्ट्रॉन्ग अपोजिशन आना चाहिए, ऐसे संजय राउत जी ने भी बोला है। उन्होंने कहा है कि एक स्ट्रॉन्ग अपोजिशन तैयार होने के लिए ये जो कांग्रेस से अलग हुए पार्टीज है उनको वापस से एक साथ लड़ना चाहिए नरेंद्र मोदी के अपोजिशन में।
बराबर है, संजय राउत साहब की भावना जो है वो सही है कि उनको लगता है कि सब अपोजिशन पार्टी जो कांग्रेस से अलग अलग हुई उन्होंने इकट्ठा आना चाहिए। उनकी भावना का मैं आदर करता हूँ, लेकिन इस प्रकार की चर्चा हमारे पार्टी में बिल्कुल नहीं है।
सर, और एक सवाल आपसे, नाना पटोले जी है, उन्होंने कहा कि ये पहली बार ऐसी चर्चा नहीं हो रही है, इसके पहले भी पूछा गया है, इसके पहले भी अप्रोच हो गए थे, तो मतलब अभी जो चर्चा है वो पहली बार नहीं हो रही है ये मर्जर।
हो सकता कि इसके पहले कुछ कांग्रेस पार्टी की तरफ से प्रस्ताव आया हो, लेकिन ये बात कुछ आगे बढ़ नहीं पाई, ये बात आगे बढ़ नहीं पाई। ठीक है, ऊपर पे हाई लेवल पे कुछ चर्चा शायद हुई होंगी पहले, लेकिन ये बात कभी आगे बढ़ नहीं पाई और अभी तो इसकी चर्चा होने का कोई संभावना नहीं है।
सर, एक आखिरी सवाल आपसे, सुप्रिया सुळे जी आज दिल्ली में है जॉइंट पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी मीट के लिए, तो उसके बाद कुछ संभावना है कि कोई नेता उनसे वो मिले और इस बात को आगे बढ़ने की संभावना है?
कल अभी मैं नागपुर जा रहा हूँ, कल सुबह सुप्रियता एक नागपुर में एक प्रोग्राम के लिए आ रही है। कल ही हमारी सुबह 10 बजे उनके साथ में मीटिंग होगी, हम इकट्ठा एक प्रोग्राम के लिए जा रहे हैं। तो कहाँ पे भी इस बात की चर्चा नहीं है, कहाँ से आपने सब बात निकाला, मुझे ताज्जुब लगता है।
तो ये कहना सही रहेगा कि ये बस अफवाहें है, स्पेकुलेशंस है जो की जा रही है?
100% अफवाह स्पेकुलेशन है, ऐसे कहाँ भी डिस्कशन हुआ नहीं, ये मेरी 100% जानकारी है।
Sleazy influencers. Maharashtra cybercrime has in fact registered an FIR against stand-up comedian Pranit More, Himanshu Jangra and Dr. Sejal Pawar, plus other persons found involved in connection with the publication and dissemination of allegedly obscene and objectionable content at a Gurugram stand-up comedy show through online platforms and social media. The investigation conducted by Maharashtra Cyber Crime revealed that one of the clips allegedly contained remarks made by Himanshu Jangra suggesting entitlement to physical intimacy in return for money spent during a date, thereby portraying women in a derogatory manner and trivializing issues related to consent and dignity. Now, these are some of the comments on screen through graphics. We cannot play them. Pranit More's show called The Ashleel Show is all about heaping these indignities on women in the name of stand-up comedy. That's Sejal Pawar on one side, Himanshu Jangra on the other. They were part of the show, and the comments they made during the exchange has now got the attention of not just the crime branch and Mumbai police, which has registered this FIR and are carrying out a probe now, but also the National Commission for Women, which has sent a notice to all the three on screen now for disparaging the dignity of the women, being disrespectful to the dignity of the deceased, and contrary to accepted standards of public decency. Now, according to Maharashtra Cyber, it is further alleged that the viral content was recorded, promoted, published, and disseminated through various digital and social media platforms in connection with the program hosted by Pranit More, with the apparent objective of increasing viewership, audience engagement, and deriving financial and commercial gains through online monetization and other revenue-generating activities. So essentially monetizing indignities, monetizing misogyny, monetizing insults to the dignity of women in general. The National Commission for Women has also issued notice to these comedians, and they have sought an immediate response. Public platforms should not become a stage for obscenity, is the position taken by the NCW. This is an evolving story. In fact, prime time debate at 9 p.m. tonight. Dirty influencers. All right, in fact, staying with the story, after controversial remarks, Sejal Pawar has issued an apology. Wonder whether she really means it. Let's listen to her.
Hello everyone. मेरा जो 3 महीने पहले मैंने शो किया था, उसका एक पार्ट ऑफ द क्लिप वायरल हो रहा है अभी, जिसमें मैंने एक चीज़ बोली थी. एंड आई जस्ट वांटेड टू कम हियर एंड से दैट आई एम वेरी सॉरी दैट थिंग हैपेंड एंड I said the very wrong thing. I'm so sorry about that. मैंने ऐसे कभी intentionally नहीं सोचा था कि मैं वो चीज़ बोलूँगी. It's very bad to see whatever narrative has been said. And बस मुझे इतना बोलना था कि शुरुआत में मैंने ये 2 बार बोली थी चीज़ कि I respect that, like हम उनका बहुत respect करते हैं. And I know it's my mistake, and when I went on a show, comedy show, it was my first stand-up comedy ever. मैं इसके पहले कभी stand-up show में नहीं गई थी, and मुझे ये बिल्कुल आइडिया नहीं था कि 2 महीने पहले की क्लिप अभी आज उसमें से एक पार्ट लेके ऐसा कुछ बड़ा इशू हो जाएगा.
Sentence passed by the Sejal, it is condemnable. We do not support the sentence passed by her. हाँ, तो हम उसका विरोध करते हैं. वो सेंटेंस जो उसने बोला है, तो वो मेडिकल फ्रैटर्निटी के अपोज बोला है. वैसे वो कैडेवर का अपन ने रिस्पेक्ट करना चाहिए. तो उसके बारे में ऐसे बात करेंगे तो ऑब्वियसली हम उसका विरोध करेंगे.
जैसे सेजल ने कहा कि ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस उनका रहा है, वो ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस करती हैं जब कैडेवर्स होते हैं, मेल कैडेवर्स जब होते हैं एनाटॉमी लैब में. क्या ऐसा अक्सर होता है?
जी नहीं.
जो कैडेवर्स आप जब फर्स्ट ईयर एंटर करते हैं तो दे आर योर फर्स्ट टीचर्स। आप डायरेक्टली कुछ आपने फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू मस्ट बी हैप्पी कि आप डॉक्टर बनने वाले हैं, एंड आपको समवन जो मतलब किसी की फैमिली ने इतना बड़ा दिल रख के दान किया है ताकि बच्चे सीख सके, तो ऑफ कोर्स आपको उसको इम्पोर्टेंस देनी है। वो आप दिस इज़ द फर्स्ट स्टेपिंग स्टोन टूवर्ड्स यू बिकमिंग अ डॉक्टर। तो जो रिस्पेक्ट जो एज टीचर्स वो आपको सिखाने वाले हैं वो तो आपको ध्यान में रखना ही है।
कहीं ना कहीं टीचिंग्स में हम एक डॉक्टर बना रहे हैं किसी बच्चे को, तो उसके लिए मेडिकल एथिक्स वैल्यूज़ भी बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है, जो आज हमें समझ में आ रहा है क्योंकि सोशल प्लेटफॉर्म पर, पब्लिक प्लेटफॉर्म पर अब हास्यास्पद का ये टॉपिक बन गया है। डॉक्टर्स के लेकर भी कई सारे कमेंट्स, अब रिव्यूज़ आने शुरू हो गए हैं, तो वैल्यूज़ और एथिक्स सिखाना भी काफ़ी ज़रूरी है बच्चों को।
राइट, एंड क्लासेस आर देयर, मतलब हमारी मेडिकल एथिक्स की क्लासेस रहती हैं। जिस दिन हम कैडेवर के सामने पहले दिन खड़े होते हैं, हमें ओथ दिलाई जाती है। एंड आई थिंक कि क्लासेस और शायद स्ट्रिक्ट होनी चाहिए रादर देन वही बात है कि उसके एजुकेशन पर्पस पे ज़्यादा फोकस करने की आवश्यकता है, क्योंकि इन थियरी क्लासेस हैं, लेकिन अगर कुछ स्टूडेंट्स ऐसे हैं जो ऐसी मेंटालिटी लेके फर्स्ट ईयर से पास आउट हो रहे हैं, तो दैट इज़ सैड फॉर अस।
तो कुछ लॉज और नॉर्म्स होने चाहिए, क्योंकि पब्लिक प्लेटफॉर्म पर ऐसे कमेंट किए गए हैं, और जो कॉमेडियन हैं उनके खिलाफ भी आपको लगता है कि कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि इन्होंने इसे प्रमोट किया आगे।
दैट्स द पॉइंट कि मैंने जितना वीडियो देखा, जितना पर्सनली मुझे समझ आया, तो मुझे तो ऐसा लगा कि कॉमेडियन ने ज़्यादा प्रॉम्प्ट किया था रादर देन शी वॉज इमैच्योर, शी शुड नॉट हैव सेड दैट, बट शी इज़ नॉट द ओनली पर्सन रिस्पॉन्सिबल। आई थिंक
नहीं लगता है कि लेना चाहिए कुछ एक्शन,
कि इंडिया में जितना उसको ट्रोल किया जा रहा है और जितनी उसकी
सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म पर लोग,
ऑब्वियसली आई एम सॉरी, सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म पे उसको जो नॉर्मल जनता जिस तरह से ट्रोल कर रही है, आई थिंक दैट इज ऑल्सो अ बिग पनिशमेंट फॉर अस, डोंट यू थिंक? मतलब उसने गलत बोला, लेकिन उसके लिए जो जो कमेंट्स किए गए, दैट इज ऑल्सो अ वेरी सीवियर पनिशमेंट अभी तक।
वेयर डू यू स्टैंड? आपका स्टैंड कहाँ है?
She did very wrong. She should never say that. And we are not saying कि she should be saved at all. Whatever is decided by our administration will be taken and respected by us. जो भी कॉलेज डिसाइड करता है उसके अगेंस्ट जो भी कार्यवाही ली जाएगी, उसके लिए बिल्कुल हम सपोर्ट में हैं, और उसने जो बोला उसकी पूरी तरह से निंदा करते हैं। लेकिन जो सोशल मीडिया पे उसके खिलाफ कमेंट हो रहे हैं वो भी बहुत गलत है, उसकी कास्ट को लेके, उसकी पर्सनल लाइफ को लेके, हर चीज़ से। तो शी हैज़ बिन गोइंग थ्रू अ लॉट. She is not just the criminal, she's a victim too now. That's what I feel.
The row over rupees 370 biryani remarks has now snowballed into a major debate on whether it's freedom of speech or just comedy, with even Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis weighing in. Listen to him.
अभिव्यक्ति का स्वातंत्र्य भारत के संविधान ने सभी को दिया है, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ इसका दुरुपयोग न हो इस प्रकार की व्यवस्था भी उसी संविधान ने तैयार की है। जब कोई अभिव्यक्ति अमर्याद हो जाती है तो समाज के लोगों के डिग्निफाइड जीने का जो अधिकार है उस अधिकार पर वो आक्रमण करती है, और इस प्रकार का आक्रमण ये हमारे संविधान को मंजूर नहीं है। इसलिए मुझे ये लगता है कि स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी सभी को पसंद है, मैं स्वयं भी देखता हूँ, उससे मनोरंजन भी होता है, लेकिन मनोरंजन करते करते हम समाज की सीमाओं को और डिग्निटी की सीमाओं को अगर उसका उल्लंघन करेंगे तो ये सही नहीं होगा, ये लोगों के ऊपर अन्याय होगा। इसलिए सभी लोग कम से कम जो डिग्निटी के मिनिमम पैरामीटर्स है उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी करें, ऐसा मुझे लगता है।
It's our prime time debate at 9 p.m. Do join in, Arnab Goswami, Editor-in-Chief. But moving on, for now, RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat's train journey from Kanpur to Delhi was briefly disrupted after stones were thrown at the Shatabdi Express he was travelling in. The incident shattered a window pane of the coach in which the RSS Chief was travelling, triggering a security response, though no injuries have been reported to anyone. Here's the report.
A security scare for RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat after stones were thrown at the Shatabdi Express during his journey from Kanpur to New Delhi. The impact shattered the outer window pane of the train's E1 coach, causing a brief moment of panic among the passengers on board. Mohan Bhagwat was travelling on the 12003 Lucknow Shatabdi Express after attending a function in Kanpur. Railway officials said Bhagwat was seated at seats 39 and 40, while the stone struck near the seat number 50 in the same coach. The stone hit only the outer glass pane and no passenger, including Bhagwat sustaining no injuries. Following the incident, the Railway Protection Force and local police launched an investigation. Authorities say an unidentified person is suspected of throwing stones at the train and efforts are underway to identify the accused. The Firozabad GRP confirmed that the matter is being investigated seriously. The train later escorted safely to Delhi.
All right, coming up on the other side of a short break, FIR registered against Mamata Banerjee over communal remarks made during her political rally in the just concluded Bengal campaign that she lost.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ।
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट।
ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े, चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
I want to start with some very disturbing pictures that have come in of a so-called right-wing leader. His name is Sushil Prajapati. He's accused of rape. After being in jail for 9 months, he gets bail, which means he's still an accused. He's an accused in a rape case. And the case goes back to 2025 when he took an LLB student to one place on the pretext of introducing her to a senior advocate. He drugged her drink and then he sexually assaulted her. He is still under trial for rape. He has not been released. But when he comes out, this rape accused, garlands are put on him as if he's some kind of a hero, as if he's achieved something great. Is a rapist to be celebrated, ladies and gentlemen? I ask you that question. And more than anyone else, I ask the right wing of this country. Very often I come on television and I say, yes, on several issues, I'm happy to be called a right-winger. But ladies and gentlemen, let me put it clearly. You cannot let a person like this man, this Sushil Prajapati, a leader of the Hindu Yuva Vahini, a local thug, a man accused of rape, you cannot celebrate his act of rape or celebrate the fact that the rapist is out on bail. If that is the message we want to send to our society, and if all the BJP leaders want to be quiet about it, I want to ask them, why are they quiet about this? Why are they quiet? In the silence of the BJP leaders, is there a tacit support to this person? Is there a feeling that anyone who wears or puts a, proclaims that he is
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
एयू करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री यूपीआई क्यूआर, ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम। एयू
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी। थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा,
रानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा, आर प्योर मसाला।
In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues, like in the case of Twisha Sharma, who does the public look to for justice, for raising their voice, for bringing something that's utterly false, illegal or wrong to public attention? It is only and only the media. And today, therefore, we are doing a media trial in this specific case, ladies and gentlemen, of Twisha Sharma, the 33-year-old daughter-in-law of an ex-judge, in a case where the ex-judge and the ex-judge's advocate's son appear to be more than involved. Ladies and gentlemen, 15 questions tonight. And if they think it's a media trial, so be it. So be it. Why did the ex-judge in the case of Twisha Sharma, neither she nor her son call a police or an ambulance? What took them 57 minutes to bring the body down? Where are the 3 men who are seen in the video dragging Twisha's body, destroying evidence? What was the police doing? Did they question the house staff? Did they question the judge? Was Twisha carrying headphones in her bag, in her hand, or a rope? Where is it now? Where is that so-called belt that cops claim was used by her to commit suicide? Why was it hidden? The mother-in-law, the ex-judge, walks up calmly while the body is being dragged down and evidence is being destroyed before the judge's eyes. Is that normal? Why don't the judges raise a hue and cry about it? Why don't the appellate courts take up this case suo motu? So people don't start believing that when an ex-judge is concerned, the victim will never get justice. Ladies and gentlemen, what was the ex-judge carrying in her hand when she went down? Where is all the CCTV footage? Did the police collect it? Why did the ex-judge's son Samarth...
Very warm welcome, viewers. You're watching Republic Global. I'm Rakshita Mishra with you. In this edition, we begin with the latest coming in from West Asia. President Trump has once again said that there's a deal that has been struck with Iran and that he has called off the planned strike last night because of that. However, Iran says that nothing has been finalized yet. Next, we turn to India's growing role on the global stage. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar once again schooled the West, shown the mirror to the Europeans as well on energy strategy of New Delhi on Russian oil. Also, we bring you the latest coming in from Lebanon as the fragile ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon faces fresh challenges and renewed military activity along the border. Let's get you the headlines from across the globe now. Trump calls off Iran strikes as diplomatic push gathers momentum. Tehran disputes the deal claims. Jaishankar defends India's oil policy, schools the West, says that it was US who encouraged Russian crude purchases during 2022 energy crisis. Israel steps up operations in southern Lebanon as ceasefire violations fuel the fears of wider escalation. And Russia launches massive drone strike. Ukraine intercepts majority, but infrastructure hit, one injured. Now, viewers, the possibility of a major escalation in West Asia appears to have been put on hold for now as Trump announced that he cancelled the planned strikes on Iran after high-level talks reportedly reached the Iranian top leadership. And he claims that while an agreement is within reach and says the war with Iran has effectively ended, Tehran insists that no final deal has been signed, and Iran maintains that the Strait of Hormuz remains closed. Here's a report.
I don't know if I'm going to get there, but we're going to get pretty close. It's going to come down, and when oil comes down, everything else comes down. And most importantly, we have a deal that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, which was the whole purpose of what we had to go through to get this. So it's a big, very big thing.
In a dramatic last-minute decision, US President Trump has cancelled planned strikes and bombings against Iran. Trump says discussions have reached Iran's highest leadership and that key terms have been approved by multiple regional stakeholders. Washington says a deal is within reach and hostilities could end soon. Tehran, however, insists no final agreement has been reached and says key differences remain unresolved. In a Truth Social post, Trump said he had cancelled the scheduled strikes after discussions were approved by the US, Israel, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, and several other countries. But even as diplomacy gathered pace, conflicting claims emerged over the status of the Strait of Hormuz. US Central Command said the strait remains open for commercial transit. Iran, meanwhile, says the waterway is completely closed and warns vessels to stay away. Iranian media reported explosions near the southern coast and said the Iranian Navy confronted a vessel attempting to transit the strait. The US continues to project military strength in the region even as diplomatic efforts move forward.
So if our blockade is ironclad, which it is, and we're able to move commercial shipping in and out of the Strait of Hormuz, who controls the Strait of Hormuz? And President Trump said it, and he's right. The United States of America controls the Strait of Hormuz.
Financial markets welcomed Trump's decision to postpone military action. The Sensex surged nearly 1,000 points while the Nifty gained almost 300 points. Market trades higher and oil prices slipped below $90 per barrel as Trump hints at Iran deal over weekend. For now, the strikes have been put on hold. But with Washington and Tehran still divided on key issues, the question remains whether this is the beginning of peace or simply a pause before the next confrontation.
And we have been joined by Strategic Affairs an analyst, Peter Dickinson from Kiev, joining us live on the broadcast. Mr. Dickinson, thank you so much for joining us on Republic Global. Now, I want to understand from you, given the scenario right now in West Asia also, Trump, he's back with his claims on the deal. This time he says that it's effectively ended the war. But we've seen this flip-flop pattern being going on for time and again. Is this because Tehran never ever has confirmed? Till date, it says, till now it says that nothing has been finalized. Is there any end in sight? You feel that Donald Trump is just trying to manipulate with these claims to push Iran, in fact, to finally, agree to certain terms?
Good evening. This all seems very, very familiar for Ukrainian audiences. We've heard dozens of times, perhaps hundreds of times, or certainly dozens of times from President Trump, that Russia is about to sign a peace deal, that a peace deal is imminent, that Putin wants peace. So this is clearly the pattern. I mean, this is clearly the way that Trump negotiates. He thinks he can, by talking deals up, he can somehow wish them into existence somehow. But as we've seen in Ukraine, it hasn't worked, certainly with the Russians. Will it work with the Iranians? Well, I mean, it's very difficult to say, but I think the initial response today from the Iranians suggests that no, they're not impressed and they're still pushing for more.
Absolutely. In fact, meanwhile, we also have, the Iranians also, the Mehr news agency is also leaking some, we do not know, we cannot vouch for the authenticity of what Iranian media is saying, but it continues to, in fact, reveal certain terms that is important. But the outstanding issues that remain as per the news agency of Iran is the continuation of the nuclear program, lifting of sanction and mechanism for compensating losses. And more importantly for the world, it's the Strait of Hormuz that's important, which Shapiq headset says is controlled by the United States. But Tehran till date says that, and which is the truth, which we see that it is also controlling the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Pete Hegseth can say what he wants, but I think that the international community understands perfectly well who ultimately currently has the control over the Hormuz Straits. If international energy traffic is not going through the Straits, then they know very clearly that it's controlled by the Iranians. And this war has demonstrated that Iran has the ability to close those straits, which is a massive shift, a massive geopolitical shift. And I've not seen anything yet to convince me that America has a solution to that problem. So I think at the moment, the Iranians, you mentioned that the messaging we're seeing from the Iranian media, they're clearly putting out some pretty extensive demands. That does not suggest that they're on the verge of a peace deal. Of course, they could be bluffing, but I would anticipate that they're quite comfortable at the moment with the situation in the sense that they feel time is on their side. They're used to living in very harsh conditions. They're used to living under sanctions, and their population is far more under control. Whereas from Trump's position, he's really feeling a lot of heat domestically and internationally, and the clock is ticking. He needs this deal more than the Iranians.
Absolutely. Many thanks, Mr. Dickinson, for joining us on Republic Global with your thoughts on that story. Meanwhile, we shift our focus to the video that we are right now accessing, a ship being attacked off the coast of Oman. I think we're getting that visual. All right, we'll just get more details, but we shift our focus to how Dr. S. Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister of India, has mounted a strong defense of India's energy diplomacy and also called out the West's double standards. He's made it clear once again that India's decision to buy Russian crude oil was driven by national interest and also the intention towards global economic stability, not politics. Now, speaking in Finland, Jaishankar revealed that the United States itself had encouraged India to continue buying Russian oil at the height of the energy crisis to prevent a global oil shock. At the same time, he took a sharp aim at what he called selective criticism and double standards from Europe. Take a look at this video.
India has once again defended its independent energy strategy, this time with External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar making a direct and detailed case on the global stage. Speaking in Finland, Jaishankar revealed that at the peak of the global energy crisis, the United States had specifically asked India to continue purchasing Russian oil.
We didn't buy significant amount of Russian oil till 2022. Circumstances compelled us to get into that market. And I must say, the Russians have been steady suppliers because they put the cargoes out there and you go out there and buy oil, whichever is the most reasonable and available oil. But I do want people to remember this. At that time, the US specifically asked India to buy Russian oil to stabilize the world markets. Okay?
According to Jaishankar, the objective was clear: to prevent a major shock to global oil markets. He explained that after sanctions on Moscow, European nations shifted aggressively to Middle East oil, traditionally India's key supply source. That left Russian crude as one of the most available options in the global market. Responding to criticism over India's Russia stance, Jaishankar made India's position unequivocal. Jaishankar firmly stated that India buys oil based on cost, availability, and national interest.
I buy oil based on cost and availability. So at that point of time, much of the oil available on the market was Russian because the Europeans were essentially buying up the Middle East oil, which was our traditional supply. So circumstances pushed us in a certain direction. But since you spoke about moral ambiguity, I would say this, no European country has been attacked with Indian weapons. I wish I could say that for European weapons vis-a-vis India. So keep that in mind.
Jaishankar also pushed back against what he described as selective moral arguments directed at India. In a sharp remark, he pointed out that India has never endangered Europe, while European weapons have historically been used against Indian interest.
Europeans sell weapons which are used to attack India. Not now, for many, many years. We Indians have never done anything to endanger Europe. So I think that's a reasonable point.
The External Affairs Minister also highlighted India's diversified energy basket, stating that while Russia remains a major crude supplier, the United States is India's leading supplier of natural gas. Jaishankar concluded by rejecting what he termed policy hypocrisy, making it clear that India's energy choices will continue to be guided by domestic priorities and strategic autonomy. As global power equations continue to shift, India's message remains firm. Energy security will not be outsourced and national interest will remain non-negotiable.
Meanwhile, the fragile ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon is once again under strain. Israeli forces have intensified their operations in southern Lebanon, carrying out fresh airstrikes and controlled demolitions in border villages. The latest escalation comes amid continuing clashes with the Hezbollah, raising concerns that the conflict could further destabilize the region. Here's more.
Despite a ceasefire aimed at reducing hostilities, southern Lebanon remains a battlefield. Israeli forces carried out fresh strikes in the Nebatia region with large plumes of smoke seen rising over the area. Lebanon state media also reported controlled demolitions in several southern villages as Israeli operations continued. The latest attacks follow intense fighting reported from an area close to the Israeli border and northwest of the city of Nebatia, after the Israeli military said that it intercepted an unmanned aerial vehicle in the sector where its troops are operating. The conflict traces its roots to the regional fallout from the Gaza war, when Hezbollah began launching attacks in support of Gaza, triggering months of cross-border exchanges with Israel. Although a ceasefire was reached to curb the violence, both sides have accused each other of repeated violations. Sporadic strikes, drone attacks and military operations have continued, preventing any lasting calm from taking hold. The human cost has been severe, with more than 3,500 killed and more than 1 million displaced in Lebanon ever since the conflict escalated. As military operations continue and tensions remain high, hopes for long-lasting peace along the Israeli-Lebanon border remains uncertain.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, meanwhile, has vowed that Iran will not obtain nuclear weapons as long as he remains in office. In a strong statement, Netanyahu says that he has full agreement with President Trump on the issue and has led the international campaign against the Iranian nuclear program for over 30 years. Statement coming in from Benjamin Netanyahu. He asserts that without his efforts, Iran would already possess atomic bombs capable of destroying Israel, adding that he has dedicated his life to preventing the Iranian regime from achieving that goal. Iran will never have nukes as long as I am the Prime Minister of Israel, says Benjamin Netanyahu. Says he has made a statement on the Iranian nuclear capacity. All this as a deal is being worked out. All right, viewers, shifting focus to the war in Ukraine. The ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine is showing no signs of stopping. Russia has now fired hundreds of drones at Ukraine, injuring one person in the southern city of Mykolaiv and sparked a large fire at an infrastructure facility in other regions, in the Kiev region, according to Ukrainian authorities. Meanwhile, Ukrainian air defense has neutralized 102 of 117 Russian drones. Here's more.
According to the Ukrainian authorities, Russian strikes Ukraine with 14 drones that hit 7 locations. The major fire injured one person in the southern city of Mykolaiv and sparked a large fire at an infrastructure facility. Ukraine's Air Force stated that it neutralized 102 of 117 drones launched by the Russian forces overnight. The downed drone debris was fallen at 8 locations. Firefighters battled the 2,000 square meter blaze after a drone struck an infrastructure site in the Borispil district. Following the strike, smoke was seen rising above with the foam being scattered all over the sky. Post the drone strike emergency, workers also measured the radiation level of the fire to checklist the intensity. The terrific drone strike burned down many vehicles which were later extinguished by the firefighters. As Russia and Ukraine continue to exchange attacks, the war remains far from over. The latest strikes on infrastructure once again show the human and material cost of the prolonged conflict.
All right, viewers, now shifting our focus to other stories. Now, Elon Musk is on his way to become the world's first trillionaire after SpaceX's record-breaking IPO, dramatically boosting the value of his business empire. The listing has pushed Musk's estimated net worth beyond $1 trillion, further cementing his position as the world's richest person. Here's a report.
Elon Musk has become the world's first trillionaire after SpaceX record-setting IPO boosted the value of his business empire. SpaceX, the rocket, satellite and AI giant, raised a record of $75 billion through its public offering, underlying strong investor confidence in Musk's venture. Before the listing, Forbes estimated Musk's fortune at nearly $780 billion, already making him the world's richest person. Musk's net worth is estimated to have crossed $1.1 trillion. Admired by his supporters for his unconventional style and ambitious vision, Musk also has faced criticism over growing political influence and corporate governance issues. Despite the controversies, investor enthusiasm about SpaceX has propelled Musk into a league of his own, making him the first person in history to cross the $1 trillion wealth mark.
Meanwhile, the European Union has officially begun implementing its long-awaited Migration and Asylum Pact, a sweeping reform designed to create a common approach to managing migration and processing asylum claims across the bloc. EU leaders have described the agreement as a landmark step towards a more coordinated system, while the rights groups warn it could make access to asylum even more difficult for some migrants. Now, the pact comes after years of negotiations aimed at addressing divisions among the member states over migration policy.
The European Union has launched its new Migration and Asylum Pact, introducing a common framework for handling irregular migration and asylum applications across all 27 member states. EU officials hailed the pact as a historic milestone, saying it gives Europe a unified asylum and migration system for the first time.
As of today, we're entering a new era. We're quite optimistic. It's a great achievement, but there might be some drawbacks, some mistakes we will have to correct in order to make the pact a success.
Cyprus Migration Deputy Minister Nicholas described the rollout as a start of a new era, while acknowledging adjustments may be needed along the way. European Commissioner Magnus said the pact replaces years of fragmented responses with a common set of rules and procedures.
Ein sehr guter Tag für Europa. Es ist wirklich ein Meilenstein heute. Es ist zwar der Beginn natürlich auch, es ist nicht das Ende, aber es ist zum ersten Mal, dass Europa eine gemeinsame Asyl- und Migrationspolitik hat, ein System auch zum ersten Mal hat. Wir haben vor 10 Jahren enorm viel Verantwortung übernommen als Europa, aber wir hatten keine Regeln, kein System, und jetzt haben wir das System, und das ist schon ein ganz entscheidender und wichtiger Punkt und wichtiger Schritt für Europa.
The reforms come after the years of difficult negotiations aimed at addressing weaknesses exposed during previous migration crises. Despite Friday's implementation deadline, the European Commission says no member state is yet fully prepared for all aspects of the new system. Human rights groups have raised concerns that the tougher procedures could create additional hurdles for asylum seekers seeking protection in Europe.
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Republic Global. But don't go anywhere. On the other side, my colleague Niranjan Narayanaswamy with This Is Exclusive at 7 p.m.
Co-powered by Crystal Crop Protection, देश का किसान, देश का हीरो।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ।
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा से। MTH का जल जीरा, जीरा से।
जीरा सिर्फ असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MTH।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
I want to start with some very disturbing pictures that have come in of a so-called right-wing leader. His name is Sushil Prajapati. He's accused of rape. After being in jail for 9 months, he gets bail, which means he's still an accused. He's an accused in a rape case. And the case goes back to 2025 when he took an LLB student to one place on the pretext of introducing her to a senior advocate. He drugged her drink and then he sexually assaulted her. He is still under trial for rape. He has not been released. But when he comes out, this rape accused, garlands are put on him as if he's some kind of a hero. as if he achieved something great. Is a rapist to be celebrated, ladies and gentlemen? I ask you that question. And more than anyone else, I ask the right wing of this country. Very often I come on television and I say, yes, on several issues, I'm happy to be called a right-winger. But ladies and gentlemen, let me put it clearly. You cannot let a person like this man, this Sushil Prajapati, a leader of the Hindu Yuva Vahini, a local thug, a man accused of rape, you cannot celebrate his act of rape or celebrate the fact that the rapist is out on bail. If that is the message we want to send to our society, and if all the BJP leaders want to be quiet about it, I want to ask them, why are they quiet about this? Why are they quiet? In the silence of the BJP leaders, is there a tacit support to this person?
Uddhav Sena is going to split, and just like Bhaipo, very corrupt political mafia don Abhishek Banerjee, there is another fellow out there, Aditya Thackeray, Uddhav's son, who is so unpopular, so arrogant, so corrupt that everyone wants to get out of the Uddhav Sena. This is my firm view that the Narendra Modi government is looking at a super majority. That kind of political strength will allow him to carry out the kind of fundamental structural reforms that are necessary to push the country in a faster direction towards Viksit Bharat. We're going to see the NDA reaching a super majority in this year, 2026, one of the biggest years in Indian politics.
Co-powered by Crystal Crop Protection, देश का किसान, देश का हीरो.
R Pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
AU करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री UPI QR ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम. AU
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट. अब बताओ, स्वाद आया? आया.
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट.
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं.
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा. रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना.
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं. रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ.
8 मिनट में तैयार.
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला. केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे. केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार. विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी.
In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues, like in the case of Twisha Sharma. Who does the public look to for justice, for raising their voice, for bringing something that's utterly false, illegal or wrong to public attention? It is only and only the media. And today, therefore, we are doing a media trial in this specific case, ladies and gentlemen, of Twisha Sharma, the 33-year-old daughter-in-law of an ex-judge, in a case where the ex-judge and the ex-judge's advocate's son appear to be more than involved. Ladies and gentlemen, 15 questions tonight. And if they think it's a media trial, so...
Mamta and Fawad to merge with Congress. Fight in Indian politics gets intense. The Congress merger model. Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
Presenting by Zoho Business Software, trusted by 15 crore users. Co-presenting by Borger Paints, paint your imagination. Co-powered by IIHM International Institute of Hotel Management.
Uddhav Sena is going to split, and just like Bhaipo, very corrupt political mafia don Abhishek Banerjee, there is another fellow out there, Aditya Thackeray, Uddhav's son, who is so unpopular, so arrogant, so corrupt that everyone wants to get out of the Uddhav Sena. And this is my firm view that the Narendra Modi government is looking at a super majority. That kind of political strength will allow him to carry out the kind of fundamental structural reforms that are necessary to push the country in a faster direction towards Viksit Bharat. We're going to see the NDA reaching a super majority in this year, 2026, one of the biggest years in Indian politics.
Mamta and Fawad to merge with Congress. Fight in Indian politics gets intense. The Congress merger model. Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
Presenting by Zoho Business Software, trusted by 15 crore users. Co-presenting by Borger Paints, paint your imagination. Co-powered by IIHM International Institute of Hotel Management.
Uddhav Sena is going to split, and just like Bhaipo, very corrupt political mafia don Abhishek Banerjee, there is another fellow out there, Aditya Thackeray, Uddhav's son, who is so unpopular, so arrogant, so corrupt that everyone wants to get out of the Uddhav Sena. This is my firm view that the Narendra Modi government is looking at a super majority. That kind of political strength will allow him to carry out the kind of fundamental structural reforms that are necessary to push the country in a faster direction towards Viksit Bharat. We're going to see the NDA reaching a super majority in this year, 2026, one of the biggest years in Indian politics.
Thank you for joining us on This Is Exclusive, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you with the big political exclusive. We've been more or less able to get a confirmation from the parties that are going to be merging with the Congress. Sharad Pawar's faction of the NCP, like Mamata Banerjee and Abhishek Banerjee, it is possible that a merger is in the works, and it's happening really fast, with even top Congress leaders confirming that it's a real possibility. Here are the headlines.
डेमोक्रेसी को बचाने के लिए अब लड़ाई युद्ध के मैदान में हम लोग हैं, तो संजय राउत का मैं सपोर्ट करता हूं कि ये सब पार्टियों की जो रीजनल पार्टी बन गई कांग्रेस अलग हो गए, उन सबको वापस शामिल होना चाहिए.
Congress asks all smaller parties to merge and accept Rahul as their leader if they want to stand a chance against the BJP.
तो संजय राउत जी हमारे लिए, मेरे लिए व्यक्तिगत मेरे बड़े भाई है, तो उन्होंने एक अच्छा सुझाव दिया है, लेकिन वो सर आंखों पर, क्या होगा कैसे होगा ये वक्त ही बताएगा.
NCP Sharad Pawar faction and Congress merger a possibility. Uddhav Sena also asks Sharad Pawar's party to merge with Congress. Devendra Fadnavis snubs the merger model, confirms that they're all in a very desperate situation, that is the opposition, claiming that such a merger would only help the BJP. There's an admission of a botch-up in the Trisha case. The officer who failed to take signatures on the Panchnama and the evidence. The cops admit he was in the wrong, but he's only been let off with a fine. and gentlemen, a few days back we told you the story of Mamata Banerjee and Abhishek Banerjee meeting Congress leaders. Mamata met Sonia Gandhi, Abhishek Banerjee met Rahul Gandhi. We told you that the merger is possible. A political merger of the Trinamool Congress Mamata faction merging with the Congress. They would be joining the Congress is what we said. Now, it's not just one party. The Congress seems to be trying to eat into smaller opposition parties like Sharad Pawar's NCP faction, that is NCP SP. There is a huge buzz on that. In fact, even Shiv Sena leaders, the Uddhav Sena leaders are asking Sharad Pawar's faction to merge with the Congress. Now, will they merge? Now, what would a merger look like? This is what the assembly numbers are. And assuming Uddhav Thackeray's faction also merges, is it a possibility? It's possible that Uddhav faction also merges. Will they merge with the Congress? Sharad Pawar's party, Congress party. Now, this is where they stood in the assembly elections of 2024. And even if they were to merge, would they stand a chance at all? Look at the numbers. These were the numbers in Maharashtra, for example, in the Lok Sabha 2024, Congress, BJP, NCP, Sharad Pawar, Shinde Sena, Uddhav Sena, and Ajit Pawar's faction of the NCP. Now, there is huge buzz on whether such a merger will happen. Let's go across to Revati. Revati joining us live on the details of such a merger. Will that merger happen? Because they're openly talking about it. It's not speculation. They're openly talking about it. There is Uddhav Sena asking for the merger, even though they have nothing to say. They're neither in the Congress nor in Sharad Pawar's party, but Uddhav Sena wants the merger between these two. You have Congress saying smaller parties should merge with us. And it's not one leader, 2 to 3 leaders have gone on record to say this. Revati, what's the possibility of this happening?
Right, there are two things at the moment. Number one is that NCP SP MP Supriya Sule, who is also a decision maker now, she says that जो भी उन्होंने मुझे एडवाइस दे वो सराखों पे. So basically she is saying that Sanjay Raut is an elder brother to her, so he has given her a good advice, which is she is not straight away denying it. On the other hand, Republic spoke to Anil Deshmukh, who is a senior leader of NCP SP. He says that on 10th of June and also yesterday, which is 11th of June, all the senior leaders met and had a meeting with Sharad Pawar, who is the supremo of NCP SP. He said that nothing sort of thing happened and that these are mere speculations. Also, when asked about that, what about Supriya Sule's Delhi tour, he says that it is just a JPC purpose tour and then she'll be joining me in Nagpur. But on the other hand, Nana Patole, who is the former state president of INC, he says that this is not the first time that this is a proposal made. Also, he says that like-minded parties should join hand, and if the merger is decided, this decision is welcome. So as of now, there is no specific denial or acceptance from both the sides, but yes, there are the talks, and it is also said by the mid of August the merger might happen. So now it will be important to see that where does the Maharashtra politics go in upcoming days.
Okay, here is what they're saying on record. The Congress, Sharad Pawar's party. Let's play out the sound bites. Here's what they're saying on record. Listen to this.
पहली बात तो आपने संजय राउत साहब का नाम लिया. ठीक है, संजय राउत साहब हमारे अच्छे मित्र हैं और शायद उन्होंने सजेस्ट किया होगा ऐसा कुछ. और रही बात बाकी ऐसे प्रपोजल की, पहली बात तो जो 2 दिन से इस प्रकार की चर्चा चालू है कि ऐसा कुछ प्रस्ताव आया है कांग्रेस की तरफ से हमारी तरफ, मुझे राष्ट्रवादी शरद पवार साहब के पार्टी की तरफ, कि दोनों का मर्जर होना चाहिए. ऐसा कुछ प्रपोजल आया है. इसके बारे में 2 दिन से या 3 दिन से इसकी चर्चा चालू है. पहली बात तो मैं बोलना चाहूँगा कि इसके बारे में जो बाकी हमारे विरोधी पार्टी है भारतीय जनता पार्टी, इसके बारे में भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोग ही ज़्यादा बोल रहे हैं. ना हमारे तरफ से कोई ज़्यादा बोल रहा है, ना कांग्रेस की तरफ से कोई बोल रहा है. पहले उनका चालू किया नहीं इकट्ठा नहीं आना चाहिए, कहाँ डूबती नाव में पैर रखते हैं, इस प्रकार की. अरे भाई ऐसी भी कुछ समझो चर्चा होंगी, चर्चा नहीं है. होंगी तो हमारी पार्टी दोनों देख लेंगे ना। भारतीय जनता पार्टी को इतनी चिंता करने की इसमें क्या बात है? यह नंबर 2 पहला इशू। दूसरा इशू, आपने जो प्रस्ताव की बात की है, ऐसा कोई भी प्रपोजल कांग्रेस की तरफ से हमारे पार्टी को आया नहीं। मैं इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ कि अभी हमारी 10 जून को वर्धापन दिन हो गया, उसमें इस प्रकार की कोई चर्चा नहीं। वर्धापन दिन होने के बाद में 11 जून को माननीय शरद पवार साहब का जो सिल्वर ओक को जहाँ पे रेसिडेंस है उनका, वहाँ पे हमारे सब सीनियर नेताओं की 5-6 जो सीनियर नेता हैं उनकी हमारी पवार साहब से करीबन 2 घंटे काफ़ी अलग अलग इश्यूज के ऊपर चर्चा हुई वहाँ पे। उसमें भी इसका कोई जिक्र नहीं आया करके ताज्जुब लगता है कि ये बात कहाँ से उठी, ये चिंगारी कहाँ से उठी और चिंगारी किसने उठाया, क्योंकि ऐसी कोई चर्चा हमारे पार्टी में नहीं है। ऐसा कुछ रहता तो पार्टी में चर्चा होती इसके बारे में सीनियर नेताओं के साथ में, पवार साहब ये सब चीज़ें बताते, पर ऐसी कोई भी चर्चा नहीं है। सब ये किसने तो भी ये बात उठाई हुई है।
सर, ये बोला जा रहा है क्योंकि एक स्ट्रॉन्ग अपोजिशन आना चाहिए, ऐसे संजय राउत जी ने भी बोला है। उन्होंने कहा है कि एक स्ट्रॉन्ग अपोजिशन तैयार होने के लिए ये जो कांग्रेस से अलग हुए पार्टीज़ हैं उनको वापस से एक साथ लड़ना चाहिए नरेंद्र मोदी के अपोजिशन में।
बराबर है, संजय राउत साहब की भावना जो है वो सही है कि उनको लगता है कि सब अपोजिशन पार्टी जो कांग्रेस से अलग अलग हुई उन्होंने इकट्ठा आना चाहिए। उनकी भावना का मैं आदर करता हूँ, लेकिन
संजय राउत जी हमारे लिए, मेरे लिए व्यक्तिगत मेरे बड़े भाई है, तो उन्होंने एक अच्छा सुझाव दिया है, लेकिन वो सर आँखों पर। क्या होगा कैसे होगा ये वक्त ही बताएगा। और जो तृणमूल कांग्रेस में होता है वो हम सह चुके। पहली शिवसेना तोड़ी, उसके बाद एनसीपी तोड़ी, अब तृणमूल की बारी, तो हम ये भुगत चुके हैं।
जो भी निर्णय लिया जाता है हमारे पक्ष के प्रमुख या टीएमसी के पक्ष प्रमुख वहाँ पे लेंगे। जब होगा तब देखा जाएगा, शायद हो भी नहीं सकता, शायद हो भी सकता है। आज क्या इम्पोर्टेंट है, सब पक्ष के जो नेता है जो आज बीजेपी के विरोध में, तो रास्ते पे आना पड़ेगा और ये भाजपा के खिलाफ वहाँ पे लड़ेगी।
एनसीपी का ऑलरेडी पहले ही प्रस्ताव था विलीन करना का, तो ऑलरेडी अभी सबको ये लगता है कि जिस तरह से केंद्र में बीजेपी की नरेंद्र मोदी की सरकार ने संवैधानिक संस्था को खत्म करने का काम, संविधान को खत्म करने का काम और देश को बेचने का काम जो शुरू किया है, तो देश बचना चाहिए और कांग्रेस के साथ बच सकता है। ये भूमिका अब सब राज्यों की जो पार्टियां उनके समझ में आ गया है और इसलिए ममता बनर्जी हो, शरद पवार जी हो, कई जो सेकुलर वोट की राजनीति करने वाले जो पक्ष है, वो सबको लगता है कि अब देश बचाने के लिए कांग्रेस के साथ आना चाहिए और वो प्रक्रिया शुरू हो गई है।
जिस तरीके से तृणमूल कांग्रेस की अगर बात करें तो उनके सांसद बीजेपी को समर्थन दे रहे हैं, क्या लगता है कहीं ना कहीं दबाव की राजनीति चालू? आपने देखा होगा, अपन महाराष्ट्र में है, महाराष्ट्र में शरद पवार के घर को तोड़ा गया, जो नरेंद्र मोदी की सरकार ने, बीजेपी ने तोड़ा, ये तो सबको पता है। उद्धव ठाकरे की पार्टी तोड़ा। तो जिस तरह से राजनीति बीजेपी ने करना शुरू करी है, क्योंकि वो लोकतांत्रिक व्यवस्था को मानना नहीं चाहते, वो हिटलर शाही, हुक्मशाही।
कांग्रेस से जो अलग हो गए, उन्होंने कांग्रेस में जाना चाहिए कि नहीं जाना चाहिए, ये डिसाइड करने वाला संजय राउत कोई होता नहीं। वो कोई कांग्रेस का प्रवक्ता है क्या? शरद पवार के साथ कभी कांग्रेस के साथ, अरे कभी तो उबाटा के साथ भी रहो। वो पार्टी का क्या कर रहे हैं? वो पार्टी भी अगर कांग्रेस में विलीन करने की है तो उसके लिए तो रास्ते उनको खुले हैं। मुझे लगता है कोई जो पार्टी, इतनी बड़ी पार्टी का प्रवक्ता बनने की संजय राउत ने अभी कोशिश नहीं करना। कांग्रेस में बहुत सारे दिग्गज नेता भी बाकी।
क्या कोई बातचीत चल रही है अभी? मुझे इसके बारे में कोई जानकारी नहीं। ये अखिल भारतीय कांग्रेस कमेटी के पर नहीं इस पर टिप्पणी करना उचित रहेगा।
अगर महाराष्ट्र में तरीके से सोचा जाए एनसीपी और अदर पार्टी को लेकर, तो आपकी राय क्या है?
मैं मेरी राय मेरे पार्टी के भीतर रखूंगा, इसके पहले भी रखी है। क्योंकि उनके नेताओं ने इनकार पूरी तरह से नहीं किया है। वो कह रहे कि हो भी सकता है, नहीं भी हो सकता है। इसके पहले भी संजय राउत कह रहे कि विचारधारा दोनों की एक है, तो उन्हें होकर बीजेपी का मुकाबला करने में क्या बुराई है? सब्र रखिए, आगे आगे देखिए क्या होता है।
सर, सुप्रिया सुले भी कह रही है कि संजय राउत जो सलाह दे रहे हैं और शरद पवार जी के नेतृत्व में अगर ये चीज आगे बढ़ानी है तो इसके बारे में सोचा जा सकता है। वो मेरे बड़े भाई की तरह, उनकी सलाह हम बहुत गंभीरता से लेते हैं, तो वो डिनाई भी नहीं कर रही।
तो उन्होंने बड़े भाई के नाते उनसे उनकी सलाह जो है वो उन्हें स्वीकारी है, तो और एक दूसरे भी कोई भाई है ऐसे भी मेरे सुनने में आया था। अब वो उनकी राय है, उस पर मैं क्या टिप्पणी करूं?
जो महाराष्ट्र की पार्टी है, महाराष्ट्र कांग्रेस के अध्यक्ष है, आप लोगों को कोई ऐतराज होगा उनके मर्जर से?
नहीं, मेरे पार्टी के भीतर मेरी जो राय है वो मैंने रखी हुई है, और दोबारा मांगेगी तो मैं जरूर रखूंगा।
On to the next story on This is Exclusive this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, in the case of Twisha Sharma, who was found dead in mysterious circumstances in May, Republic has been reporting consistently on the possibility of the police botching up the investigation, and we told you how there was a sub-inspector by the name of Dinesh Sharma, who by the way has been sent on leave. We told you that he was hiding something because on the Panchnama, signatures of the Judge Giribala were missing when the ligature belt, the belt in which they claimed which was used for the death and hanging of Twisha Sharma. That piece of evidence wasn't even recorded because this particular officer did not even complete the Panchnama, did not even take signatures of Giribala and her son Samarth. Now, the police themselves confess that this officer was in the wrong. We've been reporting about it. They were in denial. And as Republic went deeper into the story, as we went to question the police, where we walked into that police station where this Dinesh Sharma was posted, and he was missing in action. The police have been now forced to admit it. He's been fined just 5,000 rupees, we are told. ये जो Satya Vijay, my colleague is joining us live. Satya Vijay, ये confession है क्योंकि you went inside the police station. We told, first of all, Satya Vijay, इनका role क्या है? How did he help cover up the crime? वो बताइए. Because this officer played a huge role in covering up the crime, in not recording the evidence.
जी हाँ बिल्कुल। देखिए, सबसे पहले और सबसे बड़ी बात तो यही है निरंजन जी कि रिपब्लिक मीडिया नेटवर्क की जो मुहिम है, हमने जिस तरह से बताया कि किस तरह से भोपाल पुलिस ने इसमें चूक की, कमियां की, केस को कमजोर करने की कोशिश की, हमने एक एक खुलासा किया और अब उसी का इम्पैक्ट है कि जो सस्पेक्टर दिनेश शर्मा है उसको पनिशमेंट दी गई है। सीपी ने सजा के तौर पर 5,000 का जुर्माना लगाया है, अर्थदंड इसे कहा जाता है। दूसरी बड़ी बात आपने जो पूछी कि आखिर दिनेश शर्मा का रोल क्या था, तो देखिए, दिनेश शर्मा कटारा थाने के वो सब इंस्पेक्टर हैं, सबसे पहले क्राइम स्पॉट पर पहुंचे थे। मतलब परिवार के बाद, गिरिबाला और समर्थ के बाद अगर पुलिस का कोई इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग ऑफिसर स्पॉट पर पहुंचा था, वो था दिनेश शर्मा। और दिनेश शर्मा ही वो शख्स है जिसने लिगेचर बेल्ट को जब्त किया। लेकिन जब्ती के दौरान से जो लापरवाही शुरू हुई, वो लापरवाही कई लेवल तक गई। पहली बात तो ये, जब लिगेचर बेल्ट जब्त किया तो उसमें जब्ती पंचनामे में गिरिबाला और समर्थ के साइन क्यों नहीं लिए, जबकि पुलिस की ही टीम ने बाकी सामानों की जब्ती में, चाहे वो लैपटॉप हो, मोबाइल हो, हेडफोन हो, ईयरफोन हो और बाकी दस्तावेज हो, उनकी जब्ती में गिरिबाला और समर्थ के साइन लिए। लेकिन लिगेचर बेल्ट, जो कि इस पूरे संदिग्ध मौत में सबसे अहम सबूत है, क्योंकि इस बेल्ट से ही फांसी लगाई गई। अब वकीलों का, जो त्विषा के वकील, उनके परिवार का एक कहना है कि दिनेश शर्मा को कैसे पता कि इसी लिगेचर बेल्ट से फांसी लगाई, जबकि उसका जब्ती पंचनामा वहां पर मौजूद लोगों से नहीं किया गया, बाकी चीजों में किया गया। एक गलती। दूसरी गलती दिनेश शर्मा की ये रही कि वो लिगेचर बेल्ट को अपनी गाड़ी में, अपनी कार में रखकर घूमते रहे, उसे एम्स में जहां पर कि पोस्टमार्टम चल रहा था उन डॉक्टरों तक नहीं पहुंचाया। पोस्टमार्टम खत्म होने के बाद ये लिगेचर बेल्ट, जब हमने खबर चलाई उसके बाद वहां पहुंचता है, जिससे मिलान होता है कि गले में जो निशान थे वो इसी बेल्ट से थे या नहीं। तीसरी गलती, यही लिगेचर बेल्ट सेकंड पीएम के दौरान भी नहीं पहुंचा। इसमें हालांकि दिनेश शर्मा के साथ साथ कुछ और पुलिसकर्मियों की भी गलती है, क्योंकि पुलिस का ये तर्क था कि ये जो लिगेचर बेल्ट है ये एफएसएल का जो ऑफिस है मध्य प्रदेश के सागर जिले में, वहां पर जमा हो गया था। तो इस तरह की गलतियां दिनेश शर्मा ने की और खुद पुलिस ये मान रही थी, फौरी तौर पर पुलिस के बयान थे कि हाँ कुछ कमियां या कुछ गलतियां उससे हुई हैं, लेकिन वो कार्रवाई करने की हिम्मत नहीं दिखा पा रही थी। लेकिन हमने जब ये खबर एक्सपोज किया पूरे मामले को, दिनेश शर्मा की संदिग्ध भूमिका को, उसके बाद कहीं ना कहीं प्रेशर में आई पुलिस और उन्होंने अब ये फाइन लगाया है, ये पनिशमेंट दिनेश शर्मा को दिया है।
Okay. Thank you for joining us with those inputs, Satya Vijay. The story being tracked on Republic, it's a continuous story for us. We're not letting go of the Twisha story yet because there is a lot more to be uncovered and we will continue reporting on that. That's it on this edition of This is Exclusive. Thanks for watching.
$13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
I want to start with some very disturbing pictures that have come in of a so-called right-wing leader. His name is Sushil Prajapati. He's accused of rape. After being in jail for 9 months, he gets bail, which means he's still an accused. He's an accused in a rape case. And the case goes back to 2025 when he took an LLB student to one place on the pretext of introducing her to a senior advocate. He drugged her drink and then he sexually assaulted her. He is still under trial for rape. He has not been released. But when he comes out, this rape accused, garlands are put on him as if he's some kind of a hero, as if he's achieved something great. Is a rapist to be celebrated, ladies and gentlemen? I ask you that question. And more than anyone else, I ask the right wing of this country. Very often I come on television and I say, yes, on several issues, I'm happy to be called a right-winger. But ladies and gentlemen, let me put it clearly. You cannot let a person like this man, this Sushil Prajapati, a leader of the Hindu Yuva Vahini, a local thug, a man accused of rape, you cannot celebrate his act of rape or celebrate the fact that the rapist is out on bail. If that is the message we want to send to our society, and if all the BJP leaders want to be quiet about it, I want to ask them, why are they quiet about this? Why are they quiet? In the silence of the BJP leaders, is there a tacit support to this person? Is there a feeling that anyone who wears or puts a, proclaims that he is from a so-called Hindu organization, that he will be allowed to get away with absolutely everything, including an act of rape? Is there a feeling that this man, do right-wingers feel, this man, this accused rapist is one of our own?
प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाई जीरा से MDH का जलजीरा जीरा से
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
AU करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री UPI QR ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम। AU
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी। थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा।
ऑप्टोरोमा मैनुअल वाइंडिंग 4 लोगों के पास है ये।
कुछ इससे भी अनोखा।
कमला पसंद, सिर्फ एक अनोखा स्वाद। कमला पसंद पान मसाला।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दो ही बड़े। चंकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
In fact, very often I believe the only way to get justice in India is a media trial. So there's no reason for the media, if it's doing a good job of a media trial, to be on the back foot. In fact, the courts should stop making these overarching remarks about media trial and contemplate about one very basic thing. With the greatest of respect to the courts, when the other institutions fail, when people get let down by the system, when even the judiciary does not seem to be listening or raising a noise about issues, like in the case of Twisha Sharma, who does the public look to for justice, for raising their voice, for bringing something that's utterly false, illegal or wrong to public attention? It is only and only the media. And today, therefore, we are doing a media trial in this specific case, ladies and gentlemen, of Twisha Sharma, the 33-year-old daughter-in-law of an ex-judge, in a case where the ex-judge and the ex-judge's advocate's son appear to be more than involved. Ladies and gentlemen, 15 questions tonight. And if they think it's a media trial, so be it. So be it. Why did the ex-judge in the case of Twisha Sharma, neither she nor her son call a police or an ambulance? What took them 57 minutes to bring the body down? Where are the 3 men who are seen in the video dragging Twisha's body, destroying evidence? What was the police doing? Did they question the house staff? Did they question the judge? Was Twisha carrying headphones in her bag, in her hand, or a rope? Where is it now? Where is that so-called belt that cops claim was used by her to commit suicide? Why was it hidden? The mother-in-law, the ex-judge, walks up calmly while the body is being dragged down and evidence is being destroyed before the judge's eyes. Is that normal? Why don't the judges raise a hue and cry about it? Why don't the appellate courts take up this case suo motu? So people don't start believing that when an ex-judge is concerned, the victim will never get justice. Ladies and gentlemen, what was the ex-judge carrying in her hand when she went down? Where is all the CCTV footage? Did the police collect it? Why did the ex-judge's son Samarth Singh escape after bringing the body of his wife to AIIMS? Is it true that the ex-judge's son's medical examination was not conducted? The police station is right behind the ex-judge's Giribala's house. Why was no call made? Why did it take 5 days to file an FIR in the case? Who stalled it? Why was the victim's family attacked in court if there's nothing to hide? And did a very senior police officer go to AIIMS that night to try and fudge the post-mortem report? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking these questions. Now I ask you, am I right or wrong in asking these questions? And if I don't, who will?
Another influencer brings shame. Anger against dirty influencers again. The ugly face of dirty comedy, debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Presented by Amity University, ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally. Co-presenting by Borger Paints, paint your imagination. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, growing legacies since 1820. TVS iQube, India's favorite family EV.
Hi there, welcome to Friday Super Prime Time. Opposition politics in the country seems to be in a tailspin with smaller regional parties scurrying for cover against the BJP onslaught. That's our focus. Let's begin with the headlines. Congress's Ashok Gehlot urges regional parties to take Rahul Gandhi as opposition leader despite multiple massive electoral defeats. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis' response to the proposed Congress merger model says it's a sinking ship. Abhishek Banerjee summoned by the CID for questioning again on June 14th after being grilled for 5 hours over the signature forgery case. Trump says he has cancelled strikes against Iran after threatening very hard attack. And Jaishankar defends India's oil policy, says US encouraged Russian crude purchases during energy crisis in the first place. Friends, a new political formula is being discussed in Maharashtra, one that could reshape the Congress's future, or perhaps not. After years of electoral setbacks for the grand old party, calls are now growing for regional parties, particularly those that had emerged from the Congress itself, to return to their parent organization. With Sanjay Raut proposing it, Ashok Gehlot backing it, the NCP-SCP, or Sharad Pawar faction of the NCP leaders keeping their options open while the BJP watches and observes from the sidelines. The proposal sounds just as good for the struggling parties. Here's more on what happened through the day in Maharashtra.
What started as a suggestion is now becoming a serious political consideration for the opposition. And at the heart of it lies a reality that the Congress is no longer the dominant political force it once was. Despite remaining the BJP's biggest national rival, the party has struggled to convert anti-incumbency sentiment into sustained electoral gains. It is against this backdrop that Shiv Sena UBT MP Sanjay Raut floated the proposal that regional parties that originated from the Congress should reunite under one banner to strengthen the opposition.
ममता बनर्जी कल तक कांग्रेस का नाम लेने से बहुत कतराती थी, गुस्सा आता था, लेकिन जब संकट में आ गए, जब उनके ऊपर हमले शुरू हो गए, उनको हराया गया, तब सबसे पहले उनको कांग्रेस की याद आई। तो मैंने कहा कि आप ये समय है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी से जो फैक्शन बाहर निकले थे, नेता बाहर निकले थे और उसने अपने अपने दल खड़े किए, चाहे महाराष्ट्र हो, चाहे पश्चिम बंगाल हो, चाहे उड़ीसा हो, चाहे तेलंगाना हो, चाहे आंध्र हो, सभी ने कांग्रेस में आकर कांग्रेस के झंडे के नीचे अपनी नई शुरुआत करनी चाहिए और कांग्रेस को मजबूत करना चाहिए।
The proposal then found resonance with NCP SP MP Supriya Sule, who described it as a good suggestion.
तो संजय राउत जी हमारे लिए, मेरे लिए व्यक्तिगत मेरे बड़े भाई है, तो उन्होंने एक अच्छा सुझाव दिया है, लेकिन वो सर आंखों पे। क्या होगा कैसे होगा ये वक्त ही बताएगा। और जो तृणमूल कांग्रेस में होता है वो हम सह चुके हैं। पहले शिवसेना तोड़ी, उसके बाद एनसीपी तोड़ी, अब तृणमूल की बारी, तो हम ये भुगत चुके हैं।
The idea was then backed by the former Chief Minister of Rajasthan and senior Congress leader Ashok Gehlot, who openly backed the proposal and argued that the party should rally behind Rahul Gandhi's leadership.
मेरा तो मानना है कि ये पार्टियों का संजय राउत का बात दम है, वक्त आ गया, अभी लड़ाई लड़नी है डेमोक्रेसी को बचाने की। डेमोक्रेसी को बचाने की जब लड़ाई युद्ध के मैदान में हम लोग हैं, तो संजय राउत का मैं सपोर्ट करता हूं कि ये सब पार्टियों की जो रीजनल पार्टी बन गई कांग्रेस अलग होके, उन सबको वापस शामिल होना चाहिए।
Taken together, the statement suggests that the opposition is discussing consolidation and coordination as their next big move. However, critics see it as evidence that the Congress is searching for new ways to rebuild its political influence after a difficult electoral decade. Maharashtra Minister Sanjay Shirsat questioned Sanjay Raut's authority to speak on behalf of either Congress or the NCP-SP. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis dismissed the proposal altogether, calling Congress a sinking ship and arguing that any merger would help the BJP.
कि ये जो विलीनीकरण की बात चल रही है, एक पार्टी दूसरी पार्टी में जाएगी, तो जैसा मैंने कहा कि बेगानी शादी में अब्दुल्ला दीवाना है, न ये पार्टी कह रही है न वो पार्टी कह रही है, तीसरा ही कह रहा है और उसके ऊपर चर्चाएं चल रही है। कांग्रेस डूबती नाव है, डूबती नाव में कोई पैर नहीं रखता, इनमें से कोई डूबती नाव में पैर नहीं रखेगा।
Whether this is the beginning of a broader opposition strategy or merely a last-ditch effort to stay relevant, It yet remains to be seen.
After walking out of the Indie bloc headed by the Congress, according to sources, the DMK now is planning to build an anti-BJP, anti-Congress third front at the national level, of course, with like-minded regional parties. Although the party has not shown any urgency, talks are already on with regional players that are unhappy with the two big national parties. Now this has raised some important questions. That is MK Stalin preparing to anchor a powerful third front at the center? An idea which has been tried multiple times earlier but failed. Here's more to it.
After contesting elections under the Secular Progressive Alliance banner, the Congress unilaterally snapped ties post-polls to join a coalition government with the TVK. This came as a big shocker for DMK.
Right after the 2026 election, the Congress immediately moved for a swift move to make a post-poll alliance with the TVK, which left the long-lasting DMK and the Congress alliance end abruptly. Though it was not amicable, Congress leaders say there was information passed. Following that, now VCK, IUMLN today. Communist leaders have also left the DMK to stand alone now. Whether the DMK is going to play a third front at the center with other regional parties like RJD, YSRCP is still a question now.
Following which, the DMK boycotted high-level opposition meetings by the Indie Alliance in New Delhi and even requested separate seating in the Lok Sabha. According to sources, there are some speculations that the DMK might be planning to support NDA as an external factor to make sure the Congress does not survive in the state. Responding to this, political analyst Kannan made statement on their ideologies.
I think the DMK is licking its wounds. It'll take a while before I think it's back on its feet and decides how to proceed. At the moment, I think it will offer issue-based support to as the situation arises. So that's what I think will happen. Where are these parties that are relevant in Tamil Nadu with which it could ally? The Indie Alliance had the Congress, and then the Congress had some relevance in Tamil Nadu. The other parties that could be part of a third front, if there is one, don't have much of a resonance here.
Recently, TKS Elangovan stated that the DMK cannot be seen alongside Congress, accusing the Congress of betrayal.
I don't know, because the other parties who are with us had attended the meeting, and they have also asked the Congress party why you have not called DMK. They have criticized the other Congress party for not inviting DMK. That includes Lalu's party. In UP, Aam Aadmi Party did not attend. Other parties, including Mamata, had said why you have not called DMK. So they are with us.
Political analyst further made his remarks on TVK Vijay to become a face of South.
VK will have to calibrate its move very, very carefully, because do they want to really vocally oppose a very strong BJP government? They need the support of the BJP to govern smoothly. They need their support, they need their help. And then they've seen what had happened with the earlier DMK administration constantly fighting the center.
With the DMK distancing itself from Congress and TVK emerging as a new challenger, Tamil Nadu politics is entering a new phase. As both parties position themselves for the next big electoral battle, it will be important to see whether this context can alter the balance of power both in state and beyond.
This one is another primetime debate, a stand-up comedy show that sparked a major controversy over multiple clips from comedian Pranit More's performance, which went viral on social media. One clip featured an audience member suggesting that spending money on a date entitled him to physical intimacy in return, drawing widespread criticism and allegations of promoting misogynistic attitudes. Another clip involving remarks by a Mumbai-based doctor about male cadavers also triggered backlash online. The National Commission for Women has taken cognizance of the matter, while protests and political reactions have added to the debate. over limits of comedy, freedom of expression, and social responsibility that should go with it.
A stand-up comedy show and a controversy that refuses to die down. The debate began after a crowd work clip from comedian Praneeth More's shows went viral. In the clip, an audience member suggested that spending Rs 370 on a biryani during a date entitled him to get physical intimacy in return. A remark many described as offensive and misogynistic. The audience member was identified as a 22-year-old Himanshu Jangra from Gurugram. The fallout didn't end there as Jangra's employer terminated his services, saying the comments did not reflect the company's values. The controversy deepened further after another clip from the same show drew criticism, this time over remarks made by a woman doctor about male cadavers. The doctor, identified as Sejal Pawar of Mumbai's Chem Hospital, later issued a public apology saying her comments were inappropriate and that she takes full responsibility.
Hello everyone. मेरा जो 3 महीने पहले मैंने शो किया था उसका एक पार्ट ऑफ द क्लिप वायरल हो रहा है अभी, जिसमें मैंने एक चीज़ बोली थी एंड आई जस्ट वांटेड टू कम हियर एंड से दैट आई एम वेरी सॉरी दैट थिंग हैपेंड एंड आई सेड द वेरी रॉन्ग थिंग. आई एम सो सॉरी अबाउट दैट. मैंने ऐसे कभी इंटेंशनली नहीं सोचा था कि मैं वो चीज़ बोलूँगी. इट्स वेरी बैड टू see whatever narrative has been said and बस मुझे इतना बोलना था कि शुरुआत में मैंने ये 2 बार बोली थी चीज़ कि आई रिस्पेक्ट दैट, लाइक हम उनका बहुत रिस्पेक्ट करते हैं एंड आई नो इट्स माई मिस्टेक एंड when I went on a show, comedy show, it was my first stand-up comedy ever. मैं इसके पहले कभी स्टैंड अप शो में नहीं गई थी एंड मुझे ये बिल्कुल आइडिया नहीं था कि 2 महीने पहले की क्लिप अभी आज उसमें से एक पार्ट लेके ऐसा कुछ बड़ा इशू हो जाएगा.
The National Commission for Women has taken suo motu cognizance of the matter. The commission has expressed serious concern over the content of the viral video and the manner in which the alleged conduct was trivialized and presented as entertainment before a public audience.
All right, coming out of that, because we're getting live pictures from outside Abhishek Banerjee residence in Kolkata. These are pictures that show Abhishek Banerjee returning home after being quizzed by the CID. He's made a comment also. Let's listen to Abhishek Banerjee.
আমি আলাদা করে সবার প্রশ্ন নিচ্ছি না, আমি একবারে বলে দিচ্ছি আমি শুনেছি ভাই আসতে লেগে যাবে, সামনে মহিলারা আছে খেলবে না। আপনারা জানেন গতকাল আমি ভবানী ভবনে সিআইডি অফিসে গেছিলাম, সেখানে আমাকে প্রায় 5.5 ঘন্টা জিজ্ঞাসাবাদ করেছে তদন্তকারী সংস্থার প্রতিনিধিরা এবং আমি তাদের সাথে পূর্ণভাবে সহযোগিতা করেছি। আমার লিগ্যাল রাইট, আমি কোর্টে মুভ করব। কোর্ট আমাকে 6টার মধ্যে গতকাল ভবানী ভবনে সিআইডি হেডকোয়ার্টারে সশরীরে উপস্থিত থাকার জন্য নির্দেশ দিয়েছিলেন। আমি কমপ্লাই করে প্রায় 12-13 মিনিট আগে 6টার আগেই কালকে ভবানী ভবনে গেছি এবং 11:30টার কাছাকাছি ইন্টারোগেশন বা প্রশ্ন উত্তর পর্ব শেষ হয়, প্রায় 5.5 ঘন্টা ধরে চলে এবং আমাকে আবার সেখানে একটা নোটিশ দিয়ে আগামী 14 তারিখ অ্যাপিয়ার করার জন্য বলা হয়। আমি 14 তারিখ কলকাতায় আছি, আমি 14 তারিখ অ্যাপিয়ার করব। আবার আমি কোনোদিন কোনো তদন্ত এড়িয়ে যাইনি। আমাকে দিল্লিতেও তদন্তকারী সংস্থা যখন ডেকেছে আমি গেছি। কলকাতাতে নিজাম প্যালেস,
Kolkata and Nizam Palace as well. Whenever I was called by the CID or agencies, I always went.
আমি গেছি।
I always appeared before the agency.
সহযোগিতা করেছি।
I always cooperated in the investigation.
যতটুকু কেন্দ্রীয় তদন্তকারী সংস্থা বা এই মুহূর্তে দাঁড়িয়ে
whatever I could do to help the investigation, I always did.
যেটুকু সহযোগিতা করা উচিত আমি নিশ্চিতভাবে করছি। আজকে আমাদের দলনেত্রীর বাড়িতে কিছু বৈঠক ছিল।
Today in my leader's house, Mamata Banerjee's house. There was a meeting. I went there.
সাংসদ ছিলেন এবং
The MPs were there, MLAs were there.
আমাদের এই মিটিংগুলো চলাকালীন
While the meeting was going on,
খুব সম্ভবত 4:30
around 4:30,
নাগাদ যে সিআইডির একটা টিম এসছে,
there was a CID team which came to my house.
নোটিশ দিতে। তো আমি
In another case, they wanted to give me a notice.
মারফতে তাদেরকে অনুরোধ করি যে
To
আমি
my
এই মুহূর্তে
secretary, I
আমার
requested
বাড়িতে
them that I cannot appear right now as I am not
আপনারা
there.
চিঠিটা অন্য কাউকে দিয়ে দিন, সে
Please
রিসিভ করে
give the
আমার
notice
পক্ষ
to
থেকে নিয়ে
someone
নেবে।
else. That person will receive the notice on my
আমি অনুরোধ
behalf.
করি যে আপনারা যদি
I
আমাকে
also
দিতে চান
requested
তাহলে আপনাদের
that if you
অপেক্ষা
want
করতে
to
হবে।
give me, then please wait for
আমি
some
এই
time.
মুহূর্তে আসতে পারবো না, মিটিং থেকে
Because
বেরিয়ে।
I am not here right now
আপনি
and I
আপনার মতো
cannot
করে
come
যখন
now.
ইচ্ছা বাড়িতে চলে আসবেন।
You would come whenever you want.
দেবো না। আমি যদি বাড়িতে না থাকি
This
তাহলে
is
আপনাকে
not
অপেক্ষা করতে
done.
হবে আমার
I
ফেরার
cannot
জন্য। এখন
wait for the whole day for you to
7:20
come.
বাজে।
Now it is
আমি বাড়িতে
7:20.
ঢুকেছি, আপনাদের সাথে কথা বলছি 5-10 মিনিট হয়েছে।
I have come here 10 minutes ago and I am talking to you, but there is no CID team here.
তারা যদি পরবর্তীকালে
If they come again,
এবং আমাকে বলে কোন সময় গেলে আমি বাড়িতে থাকবো তখন
they
নোটিশ
tell
দেবেন, আমি
me
নিশ্চিতভাবে
when are they coming, I can wait for them
বাড়িতে
and
উপস্থিত
listen.
নই সশরীরে, তখন যদি
Whenever I
তারা
am not
এসে
here,
নোটিশ তখন যদি তারা আসে নোটিশ দিতে,
whenever I am not here, they come to give me notice.
আপনাকে ছাড়া কাউকে নোটিশ আমরা দেবো না, আপনার হয়ে কেউ যদি রিসিভ করতে চায় সেই সুযোগ পাবে না, তাহলে আপনাকে আমার ফেরার জন্য অপেক্ষা
And if
করতে
they
হবে।
say that without me they cannot hand over the notice to anyone else, then they have
আমি
to just
অনুরোধ
wait.
করবো যে যারা
To
নোটিশ
you,
দিতে
I
এসেছিল,
just request them
আপনারা যদি আসেন নিশ্চিতভাবে যোগাযোগ
that
করে আসুন।
if you are coming here, contact me and come, then I will be here
আমি
present.
তখনই এই নোটিশটা আপনাদের তরফ থেকে আপনাদের কাছ থেকে নিতে পারবো।
Or otherwise, when I am here, come only that time.
আপনি তদন্ত এড়িয়ে যাচ্ছেন, আমি কোনো তদন্ত এড়িয়ে যাই।
You are asking me that I am evading investigation? No, I am not. I don't have anything to hide.
সম্মুখীন হয়েছি এখনো পর্যন্ত 8 থেকে 10 বার।
I have appeared before the central agencies for about 8 to 10 times.
আমাকে যখনই ডেকেছে
They have been investigating since a long time.
সামান দিয়েছে।
Whenever the CID has called me, I have gone there.
বিকেলে আমার উপর আক্রমণ হয়, আপনারা দেখেছেন। 48 ঘন্টা আমি বাড়ি থেকে বেরোতে পারিনি। আমি সময় চেয়েছিলাম, আমাকে 8 তারিখ ডাকা হয়েছে।
Once, when the CID called me last time, I was attacked, and 48 hours I could not come out of my home. And after that, I went to Delhi, and as soon as I went to Delhi, they started giving me notice again.
তারিখেও আমার বৈঠক ছিল।
On 9th, I had a meeting with the India Alliance in Delhi, so I was not here.
যখনই আমি কোর্টের নির্দেশ পেয়েছি, আমি সঙ্গে সঙ্গে 6টার আগে গেছি এবং তারা যে প্রশ্নগুলো করেছে আমি তো এখানে আলোচনা করতে পারি না, যদিও আমি দেখছি
I cannot speak here what are the questions that CID asked me, but I saw that all the questions that CID asked me and whatever answers I gave them, everything was out in the media.
আধ ঘন্টার মধ্যে আমাকে প্রথম প্রশ্ন কি করা হয়েছে, আমাকে দ্বিতীয় প্রশ্ন কি করা
What was the first question? What was the second question? What was the second, third question? And
মিডিয়ায় রিপোর্ট হয়ে গেছে।
everything was out in the media.
হাইকোর্ট মুভ করব।
I will move to the High Court about this matter.
কারোর সাথে আলোচনা করছি না, তার মানে আমি ধরে
I am not telling this to anyone. Whatever has been discussed and how it is coming out in the media.
ইনভেস্টিগেশনের উদ্দেশ্য তো ঠিক নয়।
If this information has been leaked or released, who is doing so? Whenever the central agencies called me, I always went.
আমার সামর্থ্য অনুযায়ী যেখানে যখন প্রয়োজন হয়েছে যে মামলায় ডাকুক, আর এখন সরকার পাল্টেছে, এরা বিভিন্নভাবে মামলায় আমাকে ট্যাগ করবে। আমাকে আমি শুনেছি
Now after the government has changed, they are tagging me in different cases.
4 তারিখের পর ডিজে বাজে। আমি
I
প্রশ্ন
told
করতে চাই
that after 4th, I said that after 4th there will be DJ everywhere in Bengal. But I can ask that if I have made such comment before the elections, during the elections, the law and order was in the hand of the election commission, not under
বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায়ের আন্ডারে তো ছিল না, তাহলে তখন
Arnab Goswami on the debate.
show tonight, the Congress party attempting a merger model to take on an expansionist BJP. And at 9 o'clock tonight, after dirty influencer Ranveer Allahabadi, after dirty influencer Samir Rana, another dirty influencer brings name. The dirty influencer scandal hits the country once again. The problem with the Congress party is that it always reacts late, and that's the problem. In a game of chess, you have to play moves very fast. Politics is like a game of chess. If you knew that the BJP is growing, it was the responsibility of the opposition parties to respond in time. I had said it first here on Republic that the BJP is expanding, and I showed you how the rings around the BJP keep growing, and I showed you how the BJP, from its present position of NDA 293, getting together TMC rebels is 313, and with Uddhav Sena rebels is at 320. And if they get another 30-40 more, they will hit the two-thirds mark. And I had said very clearly that the opposition should watch out, because Narendra Modi's government is going to be the strongest ever government since 2014, since it was ever elected, stronger than the government that was elected in 2019. I had said this at least 10 days to 2 weeks back, but the Congress party only woke up now. And now that it's woken up, has started whining, led by Jairam Ramesh, who is so irritated that their BJP is getting very strong. And he's put out a sudden outburst on Twitter saying, never before has anybody tried to engineer a two-third majority for his party. In the Lok Sabha, as the Union Home Minister is desperately doing in these days in the run-up to the monsoon session, the self-styled Chanakya has been humiliated in 2026 when the NDA could not get the requisite two-thirds majority in the dangerous constitution amendment bill, blah, 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 blah. Stung by that defeat, he is now busy breaking opposition parties and making a mockery of democracy. The fight is on. His evil designs must not succeed. What is your issue, Jairam Ramesh? You want a BJP to give you a Rajya Sabha seat. What is your issue? If you have an issue, Jairam Ramesh, with the BJP and the NDA combining with other parties, why don't you show your own political ability and find smaller parties that merge with you? The fact of the matter is, many of these parties find you parasitic, find you weak, and do not want to be with you. Only weak leaders like Mamata Banerjee and very weak leaders like Sharad Pawar, who are all these parties which are hardly there, hardly have any existence, which have broken so many times, will want to merge with you. And that's why Jairam Ramesh's answer to the present situation is to do merger and acquisition politics. And they are saying we'll do inorganic growth by cannibalizing on Sharad Pawar and cannibalizing on Mamata Banerjee. In their moment of weakness, say that you come and join us. But is that going to lead to any better numbers? No. Because you have a self-destructive Rahul Gandhi who's removed the AAP, removed the DMK, therefore NDA is down to 212. Ladies and gentlemen, now TMC goes, Uddhav Sena MPs go, they are down to 185. So you have a situation where the BJP NDA has gone from 293 to 320, and the India Alliance has gone from 234 to 185. See, viewers, it is not the responsibility of Amit Shah to make sure that the NDA is strong. Amit Shah is going to do everything possible to make the NDA stronger, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will do everything to make his ruling alliance stronger. The game is on. To run around like a headless chicken and say that why is somebody else becoming stronger sounds to me like somebody whining really badly. And therefore, Jairam Ramesh, Rahul Gandhi, stop whining. If the opposition is running around and finding everything else to blame but its own attitude, I think it is fooling itself. Ladies and gentlemen, watch my words. I never say it just like that. I said that the BJP will not stop at less than two-thirds in the Lok Sabha and two-thirds in the Rajya Sabha. And mark every word. Watch the space. They are going to get the two-thirds mark. The only question is, which important legislations will they watch? Will they pass once they do? That's the only question that remains. I personally hope the first thing they pass is the Uniform Civil Code. What's your first choice? Tell me what you think. Share this video and let's debate.
The resurgence of BJP has finished TMC in Bengal. In Maharashtra, the faction led by Ajit Pawar broke away from Sharad Pawar-led group, leaving NCP a broken house with reduced electoral footprint. And now there is a proposal to merge with Congress again.
एनसीपी का ऑलरेडी पहले ही प्रस्ताव था विलीन करना का, तो ऑलरेडी अभी सबको ये लगता है कि जिस तरह से केंद्र में बीजेपी की नरेंद्र मोदी की सरकार ने संवैधानिक संस्था को खत्म करने का काम, संविधान को खत्म करने का काम और देश को बेचने का काम जो शुरू किया है, तो देश बचना चाहिए और कांग्रेस के साथ बच सकता है। और सबको लगता है कि अब देश बचाने के लिए कांग्रेस के साथ आना चाहिए और वो प्रक्रिया शुरू हो गई।
Even Sharad Pawar's party not denying the possibility.
तो संजय राउत जी हमारे लिए, मेरे लिए व्यक्तिगत मेरे बड़े भाई है, तो उन्होंने एक अच्छा सुझाव दिया है, लेकिन वो सर आंखों पर। क्या होगा कैसे होगा ये वक्त ही बताएगा। और जो तृणमूल कांग्रेस में होता है वो हम सह चुके। पहली शिवसेना तोड़ी, उसके बाद एनसीपी तोड़ी, अब तृणमूल की बारी, तो हम ये भुगत चुके हैं।
पहली बात तो मैं बोलना चाहूँगा कि इसके बारे में जो बाकी हमारे विरोधी पार्टी है भारतीय जनता पार्टी, इसके बारे में भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोग ही ज़्यादा बोल रहे हैं। ना हमारा तरफ से कोई ज़्यादा बोल रहा है, ना कांग्रेस की तरफ से कोई बोल रहा है। पहले उनका चालू किया, नहीं इकट्ठा नहीं आना चाहिए, कहाँ डूबती नाव में पैर रखते हैं, इस प्रकार की। अरे भाई ऐसी भी कुछ समझो चर्चा होंगी, चर्चा नहीं है, होंगी तो हमारी पार्टी दोनों देख लेंगे ना। भारतीय जनता पार्टी को इतनी चिंता करने की इसमें क्या बात है।
Similar situation is playing out in the Uddhav Sena. The BJP is gathering rebels to reach a larger number. Let's take the Maharashtra Assembly for example. If there was a merger, this is what it will look like. But despite NCP-SP merger, the Congress is unable to reach the halfway mark. Bengal seems worse. The fight in Indian politics gets intense. There is a battle for survival now.
Acha. So, viewers, BJP wants 362. What's wrong with that? I want to know. BJP wants 362. They want two-thirds majority. Is that bad? It is. You are nowhere. You don't have a single MP in parliament. Vivek, CPI does not have a single MP in parliament. There was a time when people used to say, I started my career by reporting on the left parties. I used to go to Ajay Bhavan. There was Indrajit Gupta there, there was M.A. Farooqi there, there was Atul Kumar Anjan there, and there was a very junior D. Raja there. Now, at that point of time, it was told to me that Arnab, the day will come when there will be more stories or floors in Ajay Bhavan than MPs of the CPI. I used to laugh. I said, no, it's not possible. Ajay Bhavan is an 8-story building. There have to be at least 8 MPs. I never thought, Shazia, I never thought, Patapi, the day will come when Ajay Bhavan politically will be to the ground, raised to the ground. They don't have a single MP left. The party exists only to send D. Raja to parliament. No, my point is, one minute. Sanjay, one minute. My point is, Vivek, if you have a very ambitious Amit Shah, working with a very ambitious Narendra Modi, to have a very ambitious number in parliament, what is wrong with that? Suppose there is a student in your class who comes first and says, I always want to come first. Is there anything wrong with that?
Yes. Now I'll tell you.
Is there anything wrong with that?
We do have, I'm coming to it. We do have parliaments. And even the recent India Alliance meeting, it was attended by a member of Rajya Sabha, P. Santosh. That's the first part. And the second part is, if you want to increase your tally in the parliament, nothing wrong in it, provided you are doing it ethically. You did not win those seats despite the election commission backing you up, going all over to help you out in whatever way they could, targeting the opposition parties. There's nothing wrong if you want to get it. Win it. Win it honestly. Don't do it dishonestly. Don't try to use your ED and the CBIs and buying over of the what you have done with Aam Aadmi Party. There are 7-member parliaments.
You don't cut any
Enforcement directorate. No, listen to me, Shazia. Give me 10 seconds, then you respond.
No.
You sent the ED to one gentleman from Aam Aadmi Party. You harass him, and 3 days later, the so-called accused of the ED, joins the BJP. Another member of Aam Aadmi Party, you send the ED, the fellow decides not to join the BJP, he is in jail. So, I mean, we know what your game is. Trinamool Congress, I don't support Trinamool Congress. I oppose Trinamool Congress and Mamata.
I want to answer.
We fight against
a very
it.
valid question.
But then you have no right to break the party the way you're doing. It is unethical. You're targeting every single MLA, every single Gram Panchayat, every single person. This is not done. You win it. You win it and come. You're most welcome.
One minute. Just one. These are all mature, adult men and women. Okay? Nobody's forcing anyone.
Of course, people are being forced. They are being victimized. You're breaking parties, and you're breaking parties the wrong way.
See, if Rahul Gandhi's politics, I'll tell you one thing, nothing disrespecting these people. I am told there is a political leader from Uttar Pradesh who nowadays spends more time in Saint-Tropez, in the south of France, looking after his health, than in the hurly-burly of Uttar Pradesh politics. There is another leader who spends more time with the 8 crore scuba diving kit, including private planes and drones, scuba diving in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Now you tell me, if that is the politics that you are doing, if you're busy scuba diving and holidaying in Saint-Tropez in France, do you think Amit Shah will sit here and do nothing about it? Be realistic, no? I really want to get the other side now. Shazia, what are you people up to? 1 minute, Shazia, please tell everyone tonight. What are you up to? Thoda andar ka jo people say now no news comes from BJP. What are you people trying to do? Why are you breaking anyone? They have only 9 MPs. Of that also you want to take 7. Why do you want to humiliate them so much? Why are you after them? जैसे हिंदी में कहते हैं इन्हें सांस लेने दीजिए थोड़ा सा आप क्यों इनके पीछे पड़े हुए हैं आपको क्या मिलेगा
Good evening, Arnab, and good evening to all my fellow panelists and to all your viewers. You know, these are very relevant questions, and I think my answer to what Jairam Ramesh has insinuated and created a spin on must be answered straight. I'm not squeamish about it. My party is not. Our loyalty is to our manifesto, to our ideology, and to our promise to our voters. And if we're getting 7 more MPs in Rajya Sabha because of Raghav Chaddha coming in, which increases my chances of having the women reservation bill enacted, I think it's a great thing and we should do more of that. And if BJP is committed and is indeed committed, and you talked about the ambition of Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, what about ambition for India? So what if they're ambitious and the ambitious for India?
So you believe in bribing people?
That we have to have more and more people back us and have the acts in place which actually serve my country. Will serve my country. So whatever. And I'm not saying that the corruption cases must go away. No, they should not. But the fact of the matter is that BJP is loyalty to its vichardhara, to our ideology, to what we stand for. And our manifesto makes it very clear. There is never any dilly-dallying on it, as we've seen in other parties. So when Jairam Ramesh says it, he is just testing the waters. He knows when he refers to April 17th, he's talking about women's reservation bill, which their party, with an obsessive Rahul Gandhi talking about women's Sashakti-karan, you know about it because you are the one who interviewed him. Imagine that same Rahul Gandhi and his party is
blocking the women's bill.
The women, no, let me finish. No, you can come in. I'm the official spokesperson for BJP. So I just want to make the last point here before others say what they have to say. You are portraying delimitation as some sinister political conspiracy. The fact of the matter is that delimitation is anyway going to happen. It is very clear under Article 81 and 82. And the representation in Lok Sabha must reflect population realities. So when you conflate the two and try to be too clever by half, see where that gets you. People can see through the spin, weaving that is going on. The fact of the matter is TMC versus TMC. And if the parties are so breakable, so malleable, then it says a lot about the character of these parties and their MLAs and their MPs. It says a lot about them. And if we're getting numbers which help us pass through important bills, UCC, you don't know.
So you're saying that you're saying that you're doing all this. You're saying that you're doing all this to pass the women's reservation bill. Okay. Piyush is responding. Piyush, they are saying, actually it's true, because the BJP was not getting so aggro with you guys before the loss on the women's bill. After they lost the women's bill on the delimitation issue, they got very aggro and they are breaking everyone. They are saying, see, we don't have the numbers, we can't pass what we want. Let's break them.
You know, what was the 106th Amendment Act of the Constitution and Women's Reservation Act 2023 about? What did they pass in 2023 if it is not the Women's Reservation Bill? So we opposed delimitation.
Yes, it was. It had to be implemented.
No, I heard you patiently. I did not interrupt. I did not interrupt you, ma'am. I did not interrupt you. So please have the patience to hear me out.
My bad. Sorry.
So you know, so when you're trying to acquire, you know, there's a difference between being ambitious and being greedy. So that is where the problem lies. You know, ambition is fine, greed isn't. Let me explain why. When you are trying to acquire that 2/3 majority, let us wonder what has happened in Manipur. Let us wonder what is the environmental cost of the helping your crony capitalist friends. Let us wonder about the rising inequality. Let us wonder about the GNP. Let us wonder about the income concentration. If you can't wonder about that, what are you going to talk about when you're talking about being ambitious about India? India is suffering from the cost. You know, आप बोल रहे हैं मैडम कि जैसा अर्नब ने बोला कि थोड़ा हमको सांस लेने दीजिए, हमारी सांस भी ठीक है, फेफड़े भी ठीक है, दिल भी ठीक है, मसल भी ठीक है. आप थोड़ा भारत के संविधान को सांस लीजिए. आप भारत की संवैधानिक संस्थाओं को सांस लेने दीजिए. You know, just allow the institutions like CBI, Election Commission. You know, don't coerce them into doing something. Just allow them to breathe. You know, you're using them as tools. Please don't. They are independent institutions. Please don't use them.
I wish to ask you one question. I wish to ask you one question. One question. I have a question. And my question is that if everything is going to be blamed on ED and CBI, then can someone tell me what control over ED and CBI does Mallikarjun Kharge have? Is Mallikarjun Kharge also using the ED and CBI to threaten Sharad Pawar into joining hands with him? Why is Sharad Pawar going to join hands and join the Congress party? I'm sure it is because of ED CBI. Because you're saying that people join other parties only because of ED and CBI. Raghav Chadha is joining the BJP because of ED CBI. Right? TMC is breaking up because of ED CBI. But then, no, 1 minute. Piyush, my question is, Mr. Komar Reddy, is that a relevant question? What ED and CBI is being used against Mamta Banerjee and Sharad Pawar by Sonia Gandhi to force Mamta Banerjee and Sharad Pawar to accept jobs in the Congress party?
It's not the ED and CBI, but you know, if you look at the Trinamool Congress case, it is very much in the open that it is her nephew Abhishek Banerjee who is the prime person who is responsible for the disintegration of TMC. Look at what Kalyan Banerjee was saying yesterday. You decide whether you want the party or Abhishek Banerjee. And still Mamta holds her nephew's hand and roams in Delhi. So is Mr. Amit Shah responsible for the arrogance and the authoritarian attitude of Abhishek Banerjee? No. So it is Mamta's decision, you know, to prop up an arrogant nephew. It is not the business of Amit Shah ji or anyone in the NDA, you know, to prop up Abhishek Banerjee in Bengal. And what happened to Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray's group is because of Aditya Thackeray. So who are all these, kids who are being propped up? Who is propping them up? It is their arrogance which is now disintegrating their parties. And you have also used a very relevant word, Arnab, the parasitic nature of the Congress. The parasitic nature of the Congress. So the best example is Tamil Nadu. For the parasitic nature of the Congress. You know, they ride on the back of DMK as parasites and win 5 seats, and immediately after the results are out, they backstab DMK and they join hands with the party which had won the majority. And you think it'll elevate their credibility? Today, NDA has 39 parties because the leader of the NDA, Mr. Narendra Modi ji, has that credibility to carry along parties together. It is not, none of these kind of backstabbings happen in NDA. There is no parasitic nature in NDA. Yesterday, there was a celebration in Delhi.
Why is Prime Minister not responding to the United States of America for attacking ships in the Hormuz carrying Indian sailors? Why is the Prime Minister silent about it? Have we seen such a spineless Prime Minister ever, sir?
I'm here questioning the parasitic nature of the Congress. Can you answer that question?
I am here questioning the greed of the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Please accept that Congress is a party which backstabs its partners, which acts as a parasite, which does not have credibility. You don't have the courage to answer the question, and you run away to some other issue. Please answer my question.
My Prime Minister is not speaking about American naval ships attacking
the India Alliance and its leaders have lost the credibility. They backstab their own partners. They act as parasites. And you today come on national TV.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have a question now. Okay, let's say that the Congress party has woken up late. Let's analyze the present situation. The Congress party, Subrashta, has woken up late. They've suddenly realized that while they have been sleeping, the BJP is not just winning elections, but deciding to break parties and get to a 2/3 number. Now, Sanjeev Srivastava, they have woken up and they are saying very bad, very bad. So they decided to sit together and what strategy should we have? So they said, let us absorb the half-dead parties of the country. Who are the half-dead parties of the country? Trinamool Congress and TMC, it is NCP Sharad Pawar faction. These are half-dead parties. Who gains? Sanjeev Srivastava, what is gained, I ask you, by absorbing a half-dead party?
I'll just call you.
Who would take
It is basically an attempt by the Congress party or the anti-BJP parties. See, what is this? Even in Bengal, when the BJP won, it got 45% of the popular vote. Same in Maharashtra, you were also saying some charts, showing certain charts. The opposition, from their perspective, they have to get into a position where the anti-BJP vote remains consolidated under one banner. Now, where it is possible, they are going for it. Also, in the case of TMC, had they done it earlier, this breaking away of a large chunk of MPs would not have happened because they were all part of the Congress.
Sanjeev, you are one of the most veteran political journalists of the country. I am seeking advice from a senior in the profession. Sanjeev, listen, I'm asking you, just as a political, and I know you've been very critical of BJP on many occasions, but I respect you as a political journalist. Sanjeev, is it a smart move by the Congress party to try and eat up NCP, SP, to try and eat up Mamata Banerjee?
Is it a smart move by the BJP? It is a smart move, I would say, by the BJP to engineer splits within the TMC or any other party. If they are working towards a mission, let's leave the ethics of it or the morality of it. It is sheer politics. If others are susceptible and vulnerable to being split, why not? The BJP is working towards a plan. I see no political issue with that. I think they are within their right. Similarly, if there are certain parties in the Congress party trying to forge a broader anti-BJP alliance, wherein, see, the non-BJP vote was more even in West Bengal. So if the non-BJP vote is not split, the opposition still has a chance, or so they think. It's a very difficult uphill task to beat the BJP under the prevailing circumstances in any election. Not just on popularity, but also because of the fact that most of the institutions also work for them. So the entire system is on the one side and the opposition on the other side. So at least Arnab, from a from somebody I really like and have admired over the years, at least you should allow opposition that space.
No, I
Okay,
want the space.
Okay, you try your best, do what you can, and put up a good
No,
fight.
I want them to. I truly, let me tell you, all of us want a stronger opposition. And if you ask me, everybody who wants a stronger opposition, 99% of them will agree you cannot have a strong opposition if you have the Gandhi Vadra family right there on top forcing their way in leadership. The strong opposition of this country is to be truly representing the federal forces of the country. It's the family stranglehold which is actually strangulating the Congress party. Many of us believe so. Nevertheless, my question is right now more into an analytical space. At least the one good thing is, Subrashta, you see the Congress trying to do something. You know, they're trying to offer, even it's a daring move to offer a job to Mamata Banerjee. To go to Sharad Pawar and say, Mr. Pawar, we will merge with you, or you merge with us. What do you make of this strategy of theirs, which is new, about 24 hours old? Subrashta, will it work?
I think the BJP's ambition is very clear. It wants to become the principal pole of Indian politics. And in democracy, as you rightly said, there's nothing illegitimate about that. What is amusing, however, is not BJP's expansionary techniques, but the remarkable ideological flexibility of some of those who are joining it. However, let us also not, forget that in this larger question of who is with whom, the Congress cannot claim moral high ground. If the BJP, and which is what Sanjeev ji is trying to sort of, bring to the table right now, that it's important for democracy to have all opposing voices together, sure. But if the BJP is accused of attracting opportunists, the Congress is increasingly, appears willing to rally behind leaders who have suffered repeated electoral setbacks and have lost complete relevance on the ground. Instead of investing in new leaders and fresh political imagination from their own ranks, which they could have done, it often seems content just assembling familiar faces in the hope that old equations will produce new results. This is a reality, and I don't think we should shy away from this reality. I think, Arnab, the deeper question is not with any one party, but with this political culture that is rewarding reinvention without accountability. And it goes both ways. It goes for the BJP and for the Congress as well. Leaders will continue to switch sides, will continue to rewrite their convictions, will be welcomed with open arms by parties that yesterday considered them adversaries. But if the BJP is trying to build a broad political coalition to consolidate its dominance, all good luck to them. If the Congress is trying to rebuild by gathering disparate anti-BJP voices, great for democracy. And both these strategies are understandable. The real question, however, is for politicians themselves. If everything they said about their former opponents was true, why are they joining hands today? And if it is not true, why should voters trust what they say now? I don't think I want to analyze I don't want to take any moral high ground to say that BJP is right in doing this or Congress is right in doing that. It's the political culture of the country that needs more analysis.
These two leaders, I'm just thinking aloud, Mamata Banerjee and Sharad Pawar, the admirable part, though I really don't agree with them on most issues, is that they had the guts to walk out of the Congress party. Mamata Banerjee walked out in 1998 saying Congress is too elitist and I will make a grassroots alternative. That's why she called it Trinamool Congress. Sharad Pawar walked out saying that Sonia Gandhi is a foreign-born person and only an Indian-born person should be a potential PM. He was positioning himself as a prime ministerial candidate. Now, how is history going to look at this? 29 years later, 28 years later, both leaders have to eat their words, wind up their parties and go and find jobs in the party they once left. It's a terrible legacy to leave. People will laugh at them. Having said that, Harish, the stronger parties are not being approached by the Congress. That's a picture of Mamata Banerjee when she was with the Congress. The stronger parties are Aam Aadmi Party, younger leadership. DMK, they have a younger leadership coming up. Akhilesh with a younger leadership. These parties cannot be cannibalized by Congress. It's the weak parties with an older leadership. Sharad Pawar, Mamata Banerjee, who Congress wants to eat up.
Of course, Arnab, you want to take it into the
It's the law of the jungle, isn't it?
Because for any political party, it is imperative they have to grow their own party in whatever the way it is possible. So you can't go ahead and cry foul play with the Congress, which is doing right now, by eating, as you said, the half-dead parties like TMC or NCP. And they don't want to come to the larger portions like Mr. Akhilesh Yadav parties or the DMK, because it is only for one thing you have to look into the broader picture is insecurity of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, because he never wanted to be proclaimed himself as the real opposition. But having said that, whether he has that credibility or the face value, he has lost it completely when he done what he has done to the DMK after the pre-poll formations of the alliance. Having said that, whether the Congress has any life to it or whether any credibility to it, it is not to be done. Because instead of bringing all the parties like TMC and NCP to be taken on the lighter note, if one party should be merged with another party, it is Congress to be merged with the BJP, because almost 40 to 45% of their 40 to 45% of their previous Congress MPs and MLAs are already in their.
But you
BJP
also have an alliance coming up with DMK has an alliance with BJP. I'm told behind the scenes you had some meeting in Coorg. You had a meeting in Coorg. There was a very nice meeting in Coorg recently. Very nice, very warm, friendly meeting in Coorg.
One second.
What was happening there? Shazia? Very nice meeting.
Getting the wrong information when it comes to DMK. Having said that, we will be fighting the BJP.
1.5 days you had a meeting locked up.
Number one second. And when it comes to 2029, the Congress will be left ahead of the India alliance, and there will be an informative alliance which is battling against the BJP with Mr. M.K. Stalin or Akhilesh Yadav.
So I predict. Okay, here's one thing.
Good luck to you. You know something? I wish you Godspeed. It's a great attitude. But to keep blaming BJP for all that goes within your party and the great, the great betrayal that happened with your party, that would be very unfair. So, say this, and that makes sense, that we will come back. Instead of saying, oh, see what BJP keeps doing. It can't, like it's been said, BJP is not responsible for how good or bad you are.
No,
BJP
I think what he's saying is that in
2029... Any party to grow themselves is imperative. They can't go ahead and try to solve one crime.
Yeah. I thought mergers and acquisitions only happen in the corporate world. Huh? Now
that's what happens, Arnab, when you separate the ethics with the politics. You have to see them.
Please.
What ethics and politics? What ethics are you talking about here?
Whose ethics are you talking about?
Subhrashta, ethics.
Utterly misguided.
Very Gandhian type of approach to politics. Ethics and all that. What nonsense.
What really amuses me, all of a sudden.
Subhrashta.
What really amuses me is that all of a sudden, when the opposition has no major argument to give, it starts harping about ethics and morality and all that. When was the last time when Rahul Gandhi was moral? When was the last time when Akhilesh Yadav was moral?
And then acquiring and then breaking away opposition.
No, what is Piyush? Piyush is saying something. Piyush and Subhrashta.
It is another thing to talk about the incompetence of the Congress party leadership.
Don't make it sound as if opposition has no agency.
About how Rahul Gandhi is basically supporting the Bharatiya Janata Party, and it is another thing to leave ethics and morality behind altogether. Don't do that. At least talk about